There's a lot to unpack there. I honestly don't.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't feel any one of those is like a huge that like stands out completely to me. Now, I could be in La La Land. I don't know. Maybe you're even saying I do some of that. I don't know, um, but not one of those stand out completely. And maybe you have to run through them again slower. But I don't know, Beaver. What's your take? What do you think about our?
Well, I just want to point out that I agree with Timothy on what he said, but it's funny at one point, Mountain's like, look what's happened to this house. You don't respect Matt. You've got 2 blacks as a mod, a Middle Eastern Peter, and a fat libtard Bema right now as the mods. This is ridiculous.
So descriptive.
It's a Trump room, dude. It's the truth. Like, it's supposed to be a Trump room, and you have every fucking minority, every libtard, fucking the guy. Listen, I like Peter. I do. I do like see why you mod him because it's kind of funny.
But then
be honest though, you mod up people, an Iranian, which not my honestly, I don't mind because I like Peter. But dude, you get what I'm saying. And then you don't allow free speech. You don't. Straight up,
yeah, yes,
like,
I do.
When I'm sitting there trying to talk to fucking Jazzy, bro, you and then you get mad. I say the fucking N-word, and you say, oh no. I'm gonna fucking, what's up? I gotta fucking mod her up. Oh.
Yeah, you had to be punished for that, Mountain. Come on.
Yeah, you're an idiot, dude.
But you were like, yeah, you got these 2 black mods, a Middle Eastern mod, a libtard mod. You don't care. You don't care about the movement. You don't care about the you were talking like a white supremacist.
Dude.
Yes, you sounded like a white supremacist on the compound. Like you don't care about the movement.
So wait a minute.
No, bro, like you're an idiot, though, bro. You are an idiot, bro. You're fucking. So what's the point of the Trump room?
Wait, Mountain. So everybody should be a Trump.
Wait.
All mods, right?
Can I get the record? He said.
Hold on, 1 second, truth. 1 second, truth. And then I want to speak to this too. Mountain. Every mod should be a Trump supporter. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I guess to a point, yes. I mean, if you're a fucking, I guess, yeah. If you're if it's a Trump room, you should kind of be on code as well a little bit. I mean, to be in the conservative movement, but
okay.
You don't have to necessarily be 100%, but if you're someone like, Bema, for fuck's sake, I guess that kind of I'm scratching my head on that sometimes.
You scratching your head that they got a black moderator?
Wow.
No, that's honestly, that's fine. That's fine, Timothy, as long as, you're not fucking,
because I've heard that I do a pretty good job moderating. I think I do a pretty fair job.
I think you do okay.
You know what I mean? I think I put in my work. You know what I mean? I put in my hours.
Yeah, I think you do okay, Timothy. I think you do okay, bro. When it comes to
this. You wanted to say something?
I just scratched my head about why someone like Jazzy would get the fucking mods.
That was a one-off. Yep. It was literally a one-off. Come on, you can't hold us to that. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's just I would never moderate. The justification for it doesn't make any sense either. Like one guy said the N-word, supposedly it's supposed to be free speech.
Wow.
He gives her the green bean so then she can terrorize the fucking room.
No, you didn't just say the N-word. You said, shut up, Jazzy, you stupid fat black bitch N-word. Like, out of nowhere.
Wow. Who gives a fuck? That's your opinion that's uncalled for.
I gotta give her a chance.
That's your opinion that's uncalled for. But unfortunately, bro, it's free speech, bro. Like, we're not in Iran. So one fucking beaver retard says that that's against the rules. I guess that's what you say. I don't think so.
Well, it was. You were just so rude to her out of nowhere for no reason.
Who cares? And she's not rude to me.
No, you didn't.
Of course you did, because you're a dumb simp.
No.
Any fucking minority on the street, bro, you simp for. That's what I'm saying.
That is not
why I call you up.
Are you bugging? Are you bugging?
No, that's totally the truth, bro. There's no other way. There's no other reason.
Okay,
like,
bro.
she didn't even know what the fuck she was talking about. I call her a dumb fat retard, N-word, and he gets mad and gives her the green bean. Like, has Pepe not said worse? You dumb fucking hypocrite bitch ass pussy. Has Pepe not said worse? Has Pepe not said worse?
Yeah, but
he usually says it with some humor too. Like,
yeah, did you know that it's just the hypocrisy and the double standards in here, bro? That's why I want to break Beaver's fucking face. He's a no-ball fucking pussy, bro.
But you threatened to rape someone's daughters. Like,
bro, shut the fuck up. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
So really, you're gonna bring up some petty bullshit, bro? Like, really? Like, this is why, honestly, dude, you have no integrity. You're a no-ball pussy. You're a loner. No one fucking likes you in real life. That's why you spend 90% of your time on this app, bro. It's not my problem. You're fucking a sad little bitch. No integrity, bro. That's fine, Beaver. That's
fine. How would you know that unless you were...
No. It's the truth, bro. That's why I'm hitting home. It's the truth, and you fucking know it, you no-ball pussy. Shut the fuck up.
This the thing with that, Mountain. When people be like, oh...
I ain't got nothing else to say, bro.
I just want to speak on it because I hear it a lot when people be like, "Oh, you just people be on the app all day, XYZ." It's like shit. Clubhouse, I see Clubhouse like a fucking podcast. Like it's no difference from you pulling up a podcast on your phone and you're listening to a podcast, bro. Like it's no difference. So it's like you can be at work and on Clubhouse, like. You can be goddamn like me. I be sports betting 24/7. I could damn near make more money. I make more money than you, Sam, and I be on this motherfucker more than you. So I mean, you beeping and shit, but I mean, we just gotta. I think the standing on, oh, you be on Clubhouse, like, bro, like we in 2026, man. Like,
well, that shit makes me laugh whenever I hear people say it because I'm like. Don't you gotta be on Clubhouse to know if someone's on Clubhouse? Like what the fuck?
Right, that part. I mean, that was the obvious.
You on this app all day? I can tell because I'm here with you. Shut your dumb ass up. You know what killed me is he literally said, "What's the point of the Trump room if I can't call black people nigger?" I'm sorry.
I don't know if it was framed that way, Truth. Or you
I don't think he meant it to sound like that, but that's how he ended up saying.
I think you're paraphrasing that. That's not how I heard it. But
no, he was like, "It's free speech."
Funny.
I mean, what's
a
the
funny
point
way
of
to
Trump
say
room? I can't say hard R.
But I feel like when he say that, like he's just grouping the Trump house with the white America house that they used to mod in with Pepe. So it's like he just kind of feels like it should be ran the same way.
But in the same breath, he said, you've got two black mods, a white fat libtard mod, a Middle Eastern mod, and somebody else. You don't care about the movement. He found it just like, it was like he was at a white supremacist rally, like yelling out, like in one breath, you don't care about the movement.
I was going to address Timothy's question, but maybe we're
no, please still address it. I would like to hear, from how you guys, see and feel about those types of things, man. I'm curious.
I can't speak for the senior mods, but I'm definitely one that you pointed out that will interject and cut people off, and sometimes, especially when we're talking politics, when people are socializing, I oftentimes just let it roll. But look, I mean. I'm trying to get a rise out of some of the people on the left, and I want them to put it out there. Like tonight, we heard how heinous and vile JJ is. But look, JJ annoys the hell out of me. Why? Over these last couple of days, every time I come into this room, I hear his faggot-ass voice, which sounds like nails on a chalkboard, and he just hogs the mic. So look, sometimes... rather than throwing them down, I get in there and rough them up a little bit and knock them off the center.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't know what it is with JJ, but I feel like I think he just likes to talk about a lot of gay shit, gay issues. I mean, he's gay, so it makes sense. But every time he in the room, I feel like we just talking about some gay shit. Some transgender shit, some gay shit. I'd be like, how the hell did we get here?
Wait, who is this again?
I'm definitely here for the low. I'm definitely here for the lows.
I love JJ.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with JJ either. I'm just saying I feel like he just has a prime topic and it's, some gay shit. But I'm not upset about it because, I know he's gay, so he's probably, really prideful about things like that. But
priorities. Yeah.
It's just be like, goddamn, every time you're in the room, we could be talking about reparations or anything, and then just in a snap of a finger, we talking about transgenders and some gay shit.
That's right.
Did you guys hear? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, often what times, if you let someone steal the energy of the room for too long, it kills the conversation. So once they leave, there's like this vacuum, and we don't let enough people talk. We don't let the mic go around enough that people just lose interest. So I do try to prevent that as well.
But then I will say to his defense also, sometimes it only be goddamn a few on stage and it's like nobody wants to grab the mic. So he just kind of grabs the mic. Shit.
Whoop upside your head. Whoop.
You don't need no defend him, bro. You don't need to defend JJ.
But I think for the most part, Joe, you definitely do a fair job in sitting back, listening, letting people say what they want to say. I don't think you really obnoxiously send people to the goo. Definitely don't kick people out the room. So, I think, you mastered when, you feel me, said, give your feedback, catching the tone of the room. Like, oh God, I think you do an excellent job.
Thank you. I listen to talk radio all my life. I look at everything as segments. We don't want dead air. And when it's not my segment, I pass the mic, and I let other people have segments. And I think that's really important as a mod, is to get your piece in, hold it down for 30 minutes or so, and pass the segment on to the next person when conversation changes and the vibe changes.
Do you like the Peter segment, or should it be cut from the program?
Well, the singing part is absolutely hilarious. I think Peter is a great character. I don't know if y'all ever seen ever listened to Walton and Johnson. They're from the South. Beaver, you ever heard of them before?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's two guys, but one of the guys is an impressionist, and he does 4 or 5 voices. So it sounds like there's 5 or 6 people in the studio at one time. They've been going for 40 years, and one of the Walton passed away, and the producer took it over. Anyhow, it's hilarious. So Peter reminds me of one of the characters of the impressionist, the guy that does impressions. So I think it's fantastic for con.
Today, a guy's like, Peter, you're so fucking ugly. Look at you. Look at your hair. Look at this and that. And Peter's like, huh? What did you say? I don't get you. And then he's like, you're ugly.
Be nice. Be nice.
Peter goes,
be nice.
He goes, oh, what do you want me to do about it?
So Joe, I was asking Matt and Beaver this in this little chat the other day, but I don't think you in there. But I was asking, what do you think? I done seen us hit 100 maybe a few times. I've seen us definitely float around, the 70s, 80s on a really good topic, good little room. What do you think we have to do or improve better to get to 100 plus, man? To try to exceed 100, man. What do you think is what we're missing, or I want to say lacking, but
violent titles and topics.
You could just, the titles that challenge current political decisions is always good shit.
I think we do that pretty well, don't we, Truth?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the title about 20 minutes ago. I think that's pretty. I don't know how else you can do titles that would are controversial and draw in people and and are violent. I don't know. We see to rotate them around enough to see if one catches and then we go with it. You know what I mean? So deep truth. But when you're out there in the hallway, you must see the titles though, right? Or no?
Yeah, you guys usually have good titles. And you guys usually have nice topics going too. Usually the topics are so heated, the whole stage is jumping.
I mean, we definitely we push against any kind of narrative that's out there. You know what I mean? Like I said, like 20 minutes ago, you're not going to like this one, but I said, are there lynchings happening in 2026? Like there was like a little theme going on in Clubhouse that's what's going on right now.
You know what's funny is
you can't say the L word. That's not going.
I actually started that.
Wait, you just said it.
No, I didn't. Shut up.
The conversation on he didn't say it at all. The conversation on launching, Joe poked his head in, but because the title was like "Destroy the Republican Party." Me and my friend just put up something just to get some.
Oh, I saw that one too. That was good.
Yeah, we were trying. I had
a burner on that one, but just to be honest.
Oh, nice.
Don't get your hopes up.
We were just trying to get some Republicans in to have a nice little debate.
I was looking for my friends, and then I walked in there and I didn't find any. So I was like, and left.
And yeah, we came in, we weren't even talking about it. The title. I hate when that happens.
I know.
So I'm hearing.
If y'all were like,
go ahead. I was just saying, I'm hearing the titles, the main identifier when it comes to just trying to have a growing room.
Let me push back on it. If you're going to run a 72-hour room, you can't expect that you're going to be able to hit numbers throughout the whole thing, obviously, right? That's an obvious. However, you'd have to change the format. The only way, if you really wanted to grow on this dying app, outside of hoping new people find it, is you'd have to have a regular time each week. And, that's how people actually build on social media and on podcasts, is they have like a regular release date or a regular release time. But we don't want to do that. We're just doing it I'm just doing it for the lulz. I'm not trying to, get numbers or whatever in this day and age with Clubhouse, right? It's kind of silly. But if we knew it's usually weekends. A lot of y'all run it. But if you had like every Thursday night at 5:00 Eastern or whatever, it's likely then you build up where people that listen will be looking forward to the show. Another format change would be limiting the amount of speakers and actually turning it into a show. But I don't think any of us really want to do that, right?
No. I think, like you said, this is a dying app in a lot of ways. Right now, we're just trying to capture whoever's left around to fill a room up. So that's why the long rooms have to happen, because there's just not enough, there's not enough people to make a 2-hour room interesting, because it just kind of folds in on itself in that way, At least in my opinion, but. Plus, the longer you go, you do capture some characters too. That's the other thing. Not everybody is on the app as much as they are anymore, but you'll catch one or two that are just kind of hanging out once in a while. They come on at different hours. So at this point, the whole marathon, 48 hours, 72-hour rooms are really just to capture all these individuals. And that's what keeps the rooms going at this point. Like tomorrow, I could do a 1 hour, 2-hour room, and we're not going to get 100 people. You know what I mean? But if we get, we consistently have 50 plus people mostly for 24 hours. That still equals out to something pretty good, And by the way, they usually are different people too, which is a rarity. You go into politically correct, it's literally the same people. And at least with us, it does seem like we have a lot more different people, especially down in the audience too.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pink tickets.
Doesn't politically correct just appear like a cope session the entire time? Like they're just in there coping about the Trump era.
I can't lie. It's nothing without Ban. Like that dude could get his own podcast. Love him, and I get into fights with him all the time. But that motherfucker is what? Like, he makes the whole room. Outside of that, it just turns into a circle jerk.
Right. And that's the thing is like, okay, you can criticize us over here because we're not doing much we're not holding much Trump, oriented topics. we do like at least lately right now in the last 72 hours, it's been all cultural issues. I don't think we brought up really one Trump issue. So people will be like, well, you're obviously avoiding anything that Trump is doing bad, but it's not really like that. It's like there's only so much that we're going to fill in with Trump related stuff too in a 72-hour period. So you really do have to have a very wide portfolio of like things to do and talk about, you know?
Well, yeah, we won the war, so now it's just time to celebrate, joke around, and goof off.
And no, not the Iran war. We mean a different war, guys.
Yeah, I mean the Trump versus Fliptard war.
I have to agree with Adams.
I mean, did you really beat the libtards though?
Yes, we destroyed them.
Oh, we won, bro. Did you see 2024?
You won for 4 years.
All right, take the feedback.
Is that political correct versus Trump debate? Is that not going on no more? Or was it?
No, there's no way they would debate us. No.
Well, I thought Rob was supposed to be setting it up.
They would definitely debate you, and I could broker that deal. They definitely.
No, it's already been tried multiple times.
Whoever the broker was not capable. I am. Trust me.
Rob was supposed to be putting it together.
Yeah, I can definitely get that debate started.
They turned them down.
Yeah, it should be fun too. That'd be a good debate.
Adam says they won't debate you because they've heard everything that you have to say. Y'all literally repeat yourself over and over. But that's rich coming from him.
I do yearn for political topics. I think a really good one today would have been Donald Trump declared the Strait of Hormuz U.S. territory. Y'all heard that, right?
That one, like 2 hours ago. That's triggering for sure, you know?
Yeah, buckle up, boys. About to be another rodeo. No new wars. No.
Truth, you got a hot mind. Whatever topic you put up there, it brings in whatever that crowd is, especially with the Iran topic. When you talk Iran, you get the same characters that come in here and want to talk it. And the moment that it switches to domestic policy, they're out.
They bolt so quickly. It's so true. I remember when we had the big Iran, Israel, yada yada yada. All the Iranians would be in here, you know, for hours, like days. You know what I mean? And then we switched over to any cultural issues, and like I don't see any war anywhere. Like they're gone. They all fled. Like they don't. It's just really interesting to watch. You know. Speaking of that, tomorrow I might have a special guest, a very special guest that you all will love, and it probably might be around Iran and the war and just an update on that. So I just thought I'd give a house update on that. I'm trying to read.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm hosting it tomorrow night. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll see. I don't know yet, but the guests you'll appreciate too. Who the special guest is. So
he's my favorite.
Might not actually. I don't know.
Dr. Adams, man, I see you were saying you had a lot of opinions in the chat, man. You mind sharing it with us, brother?
Oh, y'all don't want to listen to what I have to say. What's up, Drew? Y'all don't want to listen to what I have to say.
I want to listen to what you got to say, man.
And I'll tell you, for me to explain this with any hope that anything is going to change would actually make me, and it would make you less boring and make me more insane. Okay, because I feel like we've had this conversation before. You know, the talking points and the objectives of the average American is different now. People are less worried about trannies and more worried about cost of living, you know, and it has nothing to do with a lot of the wars and the things that people have gotten used to with their limited knowledge and not looking at the bigger picture. It has to do with the marketing ploy that we've all been sold in a bag of garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we need to have more of a conversation about why is it that the numbers are not panning out, right? Why is it that affordability has gotten in the housing market to the place that it's gotten to? Why are we not talking about the senior population and things that affect us on an everyday basis? Now, I can't tell you, even living in the middle of Los Angeles, when was the last time I saw a training? I can't tell you when was the last time I saw a training. So to me, I feel like talking less about shit that doesn't affect us on a regular basis and talking more about things that actually affect us on a regular basis and the bigger picture. I feel like that would probably bring more people into the room. I feel like that would probably open up more of a conversation that people haven't heard before. And I think that people would probably take you more seriously on the other side in not recycling a bunch of talking points basically subjected in no aim other than people just wanting to morally grandstand. Nobody gives a fuck what people think about trannies at this point. People care about cost of living, the cost of toilet paper, and how much gas is costing. How much for a lot of the first-time home buyers that people are going to be paying in a mortgage every month. That is what people want to be talking about.
Okay. Oh, well spoken, Black.
Well, I don't see
Hold on.
I don't be seeing PC talk about that shit. I don't be seeing nobody else talk about
Well, there's other rooms that y'all I can probably tell you that a lot of you guys are blocked out of.
Yo, is
mainly
it feedback hour? Get me in the queue.
Mainly because Miki and a lot of people that y'all done cussed out and y'all done fought with, they probably got you blocked out of the room. But, Miki actually has a space where she opens up and they talk about economics, financial planning, and a lot of things having nothing to do with politics that I feel like you guys could benefit from maybe opening that discussion with a different political lens in this room.
He's a fucking retard. Everybody would think that Mickey is just looking for trouble.
Well, she, retarded or not, she's driving the traffic that you guys are asking for. And quite frankly, begging for it at this point.
You want retard? I don't want that traffic.
No, ain't nobody begging, doctor. You got a little.
So then, what's the point of getting feedback if you're not?
We just getting some feedback, brother. But we ain't never begging this way, gang.
Okay, Matt, hold on, Matt? Did you or did you not say, Matt, that this is a dying app and you're trying to captivate the limited amount of audience that's left? Did you not say that, Matt?
Well, I mean, that's all that is left. Yeah. And Mickey's doing the same thing. But we're like.
But how do you get begging from that?
Yeah, but she got, I mean, I'm being comedic and slightly facetious. But I think that you understand my point. She's obviously doing something different and holding different conversations that people are interested in.
Well, we're not, I mean, she does the financial stuff, but we're not doing that over here. Fuck that. Like, who cares about that right now? I mean, I don't know what she's doing exactly. Is it financial, packaging it for people or whatever? But
Matt, you got a lot of people telling people in this space that they're not doing enough. They're crying and complaining, not pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. She, in her space, is telling them the same thing, but let me actually give you a pathway and a starting point and a thought process that's going to address those concerns and those grievances from her perspective politically. You guys are not doing that. And at the very least, if you're trying to convince other opinions, you're not giving any sort of, counter talking points to do so.
I'm with Joe. I'm here for the laughs.
Yeah, it changes. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm got a bunch of new speakers on the stage. Oh, sorry, Matt. My apologies, sir. My apologies.
All right. This app is for the lulz at this point. I mean, we can't really take it too seriously, Adams. I mean, like honestly, it's pretty much like, okay, well, we did actually win. We physically are in there as MAGA. Now it's time to just enjoy the fruits of that moment. You know what I mean? Still, so
too comfortable. I got 2 years left. That goes by very quick.
No, it's only exactly. That's why I'm saying. That's why we gotta enjoy it.
Right. So don't you start preparing for what's behind that? I mean, or are you just gonna get to a point where we're gonna be like last time? We're just gonna be scrambling to control the narrative as opposed to pacing and gradually getting people to see our side. I just don't see that.
I don't think we have to as much because the other side is just garbage.
Got it.
I think we're in a good spot.
The other feedback that I want to give before I move myself down to the audience.
Real quick, Dr. Adams, before you go on. to your next feedback. I just want to interject on that one point. In defense of the Trump House, I've seen 16, 20, and 24 online doing audio, and it usually centers around the presidential election when it gets the best, and we'll likely have it'll complete the whole set of characters is going to change. 2028 will be like 2016, and it will be rowdy and rambunctious. And what we're talking about today will hold absolutely zero impact come the campaign of 2028. I just want to put that out there. Pass the mic back.
Understandable, Joe. And I'll just say this in closing. The other part of the feedback that I want to give you guys, and I cannot stress this enough. You guys have too many foreign voices on the stage. Too many foreign voices. I mean, the fact that we have Steve Hilton that's running for the governor of California, and the dude's only been in America for 5 years, that's not cutting it, and he's going to lose miserably. So I think that needs to be weighed and balanced when we have a motto of American first, and you bring a lot of people on stage. Hold on, I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt anybody else. I'd like to not. Can you maybe mute up, please? Can you maybe mute up? Thank you. So, I just feel like American voices should be uplifted. I feel like foreign broken English voices should be very limited. And I think that a lot of the sentiments that you guys are looking for people outside this country is falling very short of appealing to Americans in this room.
Okay, so establish first of all that foreign homosexuality is a foreign ideology. Okay, not a domestic ideology that suddenly one day domestically people became homosexuals.
And this is the shit that I'm talking about. But see, again, at the end of the day, and I'm just gonna say this. The whole pull yourself from the bootstraps, blue collar trailer monkey bullshit is getting very old. I guarantee you that I sit in a tax bracket a hell of a lot higher than he does, where my tax dollars actually are going to the things that a lot of people in this room are bitching and moaning, complaining about, whether my gay ass is gay or not. So thank you very much for doing all your heavy lifting.
I mean, but Dr. Adams, doesn't that kind of go against the whole aspect of allowing everybody to have a voice, whether we agree with the settlement or not? Or you feel like we should put an asterisk on foreign people?
Timothy, I'd be more interested in listening to the everyday given life experience of a person who is from here, speaking clear English, and has demonstrated English proficiencies in being held to the same standards that we expect as American first people. I'd rather listen to a homeless bum, okay, than a dick-riding freaking foreigner, foot-cooking foreigner that probably the last generation came from a country with no fucking indoor plumbing. They don't have the answers. And they certainly didn't have the answers in their own country, and they certainly don't have the answers for me in my economic bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that foreigner.
Okay, that's fair, Dr.
To be fair, the Trump House may be reminiscent of Donald Trump's agenda, because he has put a lot into foreign policy, more so than some of the domestic stuff that we thought he would, right?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again, Joe? Was that a question directed at me? I missed that.
It wasn't a question, it was a statement, but I have to agree with your sentiment. I would like to hear from heritage Americans more so than some of these third world savages.
That's crazy. I just want to say.
I knew that would be off the mic.
I think this is despicable. Despicable. Both of my grandparents on both sides came from outside of this country, and they came to this country wonderfully, and they fought for the American dream. They built, they participated. Wonderful people, married, early, kids, house. Their houses are still standing, built 70 years ago, brick by brick, brick by brick. Both of my grandparents Okay? And I'm just going to say that when people come here, it's about the philosophy. It's the like minds. I'd rather take a foreigner that can't speak a lick of English, that believes in freedom and liberty and upholding the values of America, than some socialist commie fucking American that's destroying our nation. So, it's about the philosophy. It's about the concepts, upholding liberty and freedom and justice for all. I am there.
So here's what my frustration is, Bima, because a lot of people in this room have, very strong sentiments about DEI. And I don't agree with DEI for many different reasons. But when we look at foreign voices that come onto this stage shitting on Americans as they're speaking in broken English and haven't met the basic English proficiency standard for a lot of American universities that they're getting into, many of which tax dollars, such as high-earning people like myself, endow, I have a problem with that. So yes, I do want to hear American first voices, especially whites and Black men that have been robbed out of college seats out of these foot-cooking foreigners that want to come into places like this, speaking broken English and telling us how to do it better when they failed in their country generation by generation ahead of them.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I agree.
I just heard about this scam that the Saudis run. The Saudis will pay someone to go to college for them and go and take all the classes, and then they get the degree. What a clever fucking scam. It's so bad that the third worlders are not even taking their own class. They just get a stand-in that does it for them. And you don't know the difference between Muhammad. They're all named Muhammad. So which Muhammad is it?
Joe, I hope that you make it out to California one day so that you and I can walk hand in hand, not literally holding hands, but we can walk side by side at the UCLA campus and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. When you look at the enrollment of how many foreign students are enrolled in that school and you look at the minimum standards of English proficiency that they're able to demonstrate on the campus, you would be shocked. And this is a public school that less than 50 years ago used to be completely free for the California taxpayers who live in this state and pay property taxes towards those institutions. So, I mean, this is really where boots on the ground need to actually get there with their magnifying glass. They need to put their listening ears on, and y'all need to take a walk through a lot of these spaces and see what is happening. Okay, what is happening? What is happening is that you hear a lot of college students, college-age American students, complaining about the cost of getting into these schools, complaining about the admission rates. Meanwhile, you take a walk through the campus and you have kids that are enrolled in certain bodies of study, which I can't seem to figure out. Humanities, for example, you couldn't find an English-speaking student to meet to meet an English proficiency standard to have a majority enrollment rate in those colleges within these universities. I'm trying to understand why nobody is seeing what's happening. It's very bizarre. How many schools or cities in America where these extension programs are expanding and American food restaurants are disappearing? How many of them have been replaced with halal restaurants and ramen places? I mean, wake up. Wake up. I mean, is it going to take for McDonald's to start selling ramen noodles for you guys to figure it out? Every other country is able to maintain a standard to prevent this but us. Everybody else is able to maintain a standard of assimilation but us. I'm sorry, y'all. When we look at the world population, I'm tired of being marginalized as an American.
Well, that's because you're Black. That's why he's saying that.
Tell us more. Tell us more. Go ahead.
Probably 5 Black programmers in the whole United States of America. There's only 5.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
What do you mean?
There's
actually,
no.
Wait, no. Hold on.
This is a conversation. Where are you?
Bima, Black girl, let him talk. The truth is coming out. Let him talk.
So why is there only 5 black programmers in America?
So where are you from?
So where are you from?
I'm from America.
I'm not from America.
I could tell.
I talk to people who are from America.
Using some bullshit stereotypes about Americans. You don't know anything about America. You don't know how many black programmers are here. Shame on you. What a disgusting
So how many black programmers are there?
We have enough. We have plenty. We need more. We need more programmers.
How much?
We need more programmers. How many? We just take programmers. That's it. But there's definitely more than 5. So white supremacy reaches all areas of the island on the planet, huh? And you just soak it right up, don't you? How good. Shame on you.
Look, again, it's not about white supremacy.
Shame on you. Shame. All the fingers pointing.
Well, I mean, if we want to look at the National Board of Labor Statistics, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this was taken in 2024, roughly between 130 and 170,000 black programmers are in the job market here in the United States. So I'm trying to understand exactly what you're talking about.
Include Africans.
We're not talking about Africans. See, now you're moving the goalposts and you want to change your definition. I'm not an African. I'm a black American.
I understand.
So your submission started with discussing your submission started with discussing the representation of black Americans. Now you're throwing in Africans. See, this is why you need to go back to your mud hut and figure out why the last 6 generations in front of you, failed so miserably to the point where you have to ask the white and the black man in our country for a green card.
The black
actually said black. He didn't say African or black Americans, but Africans are black.
Z's, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, probably a place you've never been to or ever heard of. And I'm a computer programmer now because I have Claude.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need black programmers now, you know?
Well, fortunately, there's beyond 5 of them in America, and there's 130,000 black programmers for people to choose from if they want to employ a black programmer. So can we move on to something of more of a substance?
Because I heard you say, oh, you're a black FBA, right? So you have a right, right? So you have a right to represent the white Americans too, because somehow you feel included, right? Because you have 30% European, West European.
I think that you have a right to go to YouTube, open it up, and learn from a tutorial to teach you how to wipe your ass with toilet paper, as it's probably not a common practice in the country that you came from.
Are you sure about that? So black Americans invented toilet paper? Are you sure about that?
What is your obsession with black Americans? What is your obsession with black Americans? I want to know what your obsession is with black Americans. Why? Listen, if you're going to talk about America, talk about America. Don't separate white and black in America. Listen, that's for us to do. You don't fucking know us. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
America's an empire. Look, hold on. America's an empire. The reason why there's so many foreigners in America is because America wants to be the granddaddy of this world, right? So
no, we don't. We just can't trust. No, we don't want to be the granddaddy of nothing. No, we don't. We just can't trust.
It's not up to
primitive
you.
minds.
You're not
listen,
hold on. Power structure.
We don't listen.
You're not
we don't
part
want
of that
to.
Power structure.
Listen, hold on.
You're speaking out of like this, like working class, third generation Italian American perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not dealing with Epstein, right? Epstein literally he tried to be a facilitator for Israeli Americans in the United States, right? So he's literally a higher status person than you are.
Yeah, but you're completely dismissing. Go ahead.
No, just say Epstein didn't come from money.
Well, that's what they tell you, right? So he had connections, right? Those connections you will never get as a black American or a regular white American, right? So he's part of the elite class of people in America.
Yeah, we have our issue with the elite, and that's understandable. But we're not to the point where we feel like we need to do anything, because, to be honest with you, they're doing a job. We can't trust the rest of you. The rest of you are just so primitive. It's just bad. It's bad. Grow up.
The classes in America and around the world have been pretty much consolidated right now. So if you think you can still climb up like a social ladder, you know, as a Black American from the ghetto, you think you can become like that?
Well, I'm doing it, Z's. I'm doing it right now.
Do you know that over 50% of the Black American population lives in the middle class?
That's because of the United States of America, the federal government giving out welfare and. Roddy, what were you saying?
Well, he thinks that in his mind, because he's not from here, he thinks all African Americans or most majority groups are all on welfare, and there's nobody winning, because that's what he hears, the propaganda that he's hearing on a daily basis. So his preconceived notion is from propaganda. He doesn't even realize it yet. When there's people telling him that he's wrong, he doesn't know.
The federal government creates jobs where these jobs are given to Black Americans. That's all it is, right? A lot of these jobs are just temporary. They won't last 3 generations. If you think Black Americans going to be here like middle class 6 generations down the line, you're just retarded.
Where do you get your information, Zaziz?
This is called economic structure, you know, macroeconomic.
But that's not what I asked. Where do you get your information from about America?
Oh, this is contextual, you know, cyclical, right? So as you go from.
But you said you don't live here, right? You're not from here.
You don't have to live in America to understand the history of America.
Okay, that's true. But you're saying that there's a structure. I just asked you where you're getting information. It's a structure. You got to be able to observe the structure, right? So I'm asking you where you're getting your information from. Where are you getting your information from?
Just follow the money. Where do you think the money comes from?
No, I'm asking you. So you don't have an answer, do you?
He ain't got the answers. I'm telling you, Bimo, this is comical. I mean, I don't even know why we're and see, this is my point being proven in real time. We've wasted time in an American first room where we otherwise should be talking to our American counterparts in the audience, and we're wasting time trying to hash out opinions with a foot-cooking foreigner that lives on foreign soil. Who gives a fuck what he thinks?
You know, this app is not American.
Listen.
But anyways, I appreciate that, you know.
All right, let's have some more feedback. I believe, Florida, you are eager to give us feedback if you're by the mic.
He should be a mod. That's my last feedback. I'll move up.
Florida?
Oh, yeah, he should. I think that Florida brings more of a moderate representation to the space that's greatly needed. I don't agree with everything that Florida does or says, but at the same time, I do think that he has been the voice of reason. And
Himothy he's a moderate. He's never, I believe he's never voted before. I mean, he doesn't get more moderate than that.
I think Florida is a great moderate, but he calls himself a libertarian, I think. He seems that, again, kind of what you just said, Adams, I don't agree with everything, but I agree with Florida probably more than anybody else that speak on the regular.
Okay.
Well, Florida said he wouldn't want to be a mod in respect to Joe. I don't know what that meant, but that's what he said.
Well, they seem to be, they butt heads, I think, lately, but.
And he's so humble. Look at that. Look at that submission right there. He's so humble.
I kept your ma and Beaver, but sometimes when I be leaving rooms, them hoes send me down to the goo. But I ain't
Who does, Rob? Who sends you to the goo?
No, sometimes when I leave rooms, I'll come back in the room and I'll be in the goo. It's not that nobody's sending me to the goo. I think that's the app glitch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely what it is. I don't think
this has, like, if I start rooms, like let's say I start a public room or something, maybe mine 2-3 people, I leave and I come back, excuse me, and I'm in the goo. It's all good. I don't be tripping about that shit.
Right. Well, I mean, Rob, do you think, like, you know, relatively compared to, I don't know, let's say politically correct, do you think we have a diverse mod group? I mean, I have everything from, you know, an independent who hasn't voted to a very conservative person in Edward. I have Black who probably disagrees with 90% of Trump stuff, probably more than that. You know, and we have people who disagree with what Israel's doing. We have people that disagree with Muslim related things. I mean, I think we have a variety here. I don't know if you're getting that over there in politically correct. What are your thoughts?
Politically correct is a different type of space. Is obviously a space for progressives and left-leaning people. That's the purpose of it. So the people progress, like, you aren't going to see a mod in that type of space that's not left-leaning or progressive, because they're not there to promote anything but what they believe in. Now, I do think they have mods over there that are fair and practical and able to, like, you know, I talk to them all the time, and we have a lot of criticism of the progressive wing or just Democrats in general. So it's not just like a straight up punch on the right type situation. This room, even though it's the President Trump room, I think y'all purpose is to give, I guess, space to all voices, because otherwise y'all would have more Trump leaning topics. So I'm gonna take this is a Trump supporter trying to open the conversation to everybody versus it's a outright Trump supporter space.
Well, I think that was a really good assessment, Rob, of what you just said. Now, obviously, during election season, it was definitely a Trump-oriented room. Like, that's all we ran, you know what I mean? We won, of course, and then now we're going through the motions of, I think we still do hold rooms on what is going on. Obviously, I don't know if you were here a few minutes ago, I said that it's hard to have 72-hour rooms on all Trump-related things. So obviously we're going to introduce other cultural, you know, related topics or whatever. So that's why you're probably not seeing as many Trump-related stuff. But we do have it, you know. So you're just seeing, like, the tail end of, like...
Nah, I'm not saying that I don't see. I don't see, but a lot of times during the day I be asleep. Obviously, I work nights. So, like, during the daytime, right, I'm more liable to be in a space that's like it's my friends. Like, these people I real life know before the app. You feel me? So we just kind of use the app to just talk shit to each other all day. That's where I'm gonna spend most of my daytime in. I usually come in here towards the evenings, because that's when it's gonna be more like the conversations that I want to be a part of.
Right. Let me ask you, would you rather have Trump topics than
I just want to hear people. I want to hear how people actually feel about things other than trans bathrooms and that type of shit, and whether we gonna get reparations.
Wow, we got 2 complaints on that. It must have been that room the other night. In fact, I was responsible for that one. I think I was, and Rob is complaining about that, and now Adams is complaining about that.
I think that the reparations topic is, if it's about getting people in your space, that's gonna get people in your space, because y'all some white folks talking about reparations. It's just what it is.
Sure.
But
like rage bait titles usually do.
I mean, I don't even want to just say rage bait just themselves, but just that title in general. You bring up a hot button issue like Nolan Wells or Carmelo, them gonna come in. The reality of it is, man, America, for all of the diversity that we have in America, America is about the history of black and white folks. It's just what it is. And our relationship to each other and how we view the country that we are in and how we view history. Like, and that's not to discredit nobody else that's not black or white, But we're not going to sit up here and largely have a lot of conversations about Hispanics unless we're talking about immigration. Like, we don't go into the minutia of whether Hispanic people are higher on SNAP benefits. We're talking about legals, obviously. We don't go into that talking about their incarceration rates. We don't break down whether there's some degeneracy in the Asian community, in the Indian, Pakistan community. We don't break down those narratives because, man, the reality of it is this shit is about black and white. But I got to get in here and do my job, dog. I'm going to be back in a few minutes.
All right. Sounds good, Rob.
You make some very good point, Matt. Oh, sorry, Joe.
I know.
Well, no, if you want to follow up on his thought, because I have a new thread I want to ask Matt about.
Well, I was going to tell you, Matt, one of the things that really kind of frustrates me, and he made a very good point about the conversation anchors somewhat back to Black people and just back to trans people. There was a whole entire scandal that Nick Shirley uncovered with hospice and the misuse of that and how that's being billed, to the government. People misusing that. It was found that, there was an Armenian representation in that. Why wasn't there something to be broken down and talking about the crime rates in, pockets of the state that you and I both live in, where this is an issue? It's taking away resources from taxpayers on either side. These are the type of compelling conversations that, yes, it's not Nolan Wells. Yes, it's not Carmela Anthony, but these are things that people really care about, but they haven't bothered to get any traffic because nobody knows how to facilitate them in a way that's palatable.
Well, I mean, that's probably true in a lot of sense. Now, keep in mind, at that point, you might be talking to the choir because a lot of people on the other side will not engage us on that respect. You know what I mean, Doctor? That's why all the other things tend to do a little bit better, in my opinion. These general wide-ranging, not wide-ranging, but more just topical topics. I know that seems topical to you, but if we were to throw up Nick Shirley investigates stuff in California, literally we'll get nobody in here that will tell us anything different. We'll just be all talking to each other.
But what about the persistent theme of fraud? It just seemed, between the scandals here in with the hospice companies and what was going on in Michigan and in other places, with the Somalis, I just feel like those are more conversations where do you know how much of a big Somali population you guys have on this app? Anytime you put Somali in the title, you're not a Somalian person. I'm talking hundreds of people come into the room to have that conversation.
That's true. By the way, we've had that before. Now,
but I don't think you belabor those points enough as much as you do with those other passive issues that don't affect people on an everyday basis.
No, we probably should hammer it more. By the way, they probably will come up more as we get closer to 2028 even. I think those will still reappear in some form. It's just, obviously we're kind of in a holding pattern with various things. But Joe, go ahead if you want.
Yeah, well, just to respond to what you're saying, Congress recessed for the Senate recessed for 37 days. The election season starts right when they get back in session. So don't worry. This is just the end of summer. It's the doldrums of summer. But look, I wanted to ask about what is this push for adding more mods? It starts to get to a point like I thought there, when we had 4, 5, 6, we had much bigger rooms than what I'm looking at. Right now, and this is just a small example, but it starts to get to a point, it turns into a social room when you add everyone as a mod. And it's just like a social status symbol. It's like, well, we got, this person has a mod and this person has a mod. And it's like, I'm curious because this is definitely a change of philosophy from where you were just not too long ago.
Yeah, I can explain it. And Beaver could correct me too. Because as it stands right now, Beaver and I are the ones that are hosting the rooms. We've been rotating. And the way we're working it is that, either one of us can basically mod who we feel we want to mod. And we try to stay out of each other's way for that particular piece. Once in a while we'll cross over. That we'll usually do our standard mods, in that way. To explain what you're asking, why is there 15 mods? Why are we going Bader style a little bit here? And I referenced Stephen Bader, if anybody wants to laugh at that. Is because essentially if the room is dying or it's late night and basically, people are peeling off in general on the stage anyways, I will typically throw a bean at just pretty much anybody that's hanging around at that point. So then we get into the marathon 72-hour rooms. We will forget we beamed up. So you might wake up in the morning and there'll be like just some random person that you're like, that's usually not a mod that has a green bean, and that's where that comes from. It's just like a throw around bean. Typically, we don't want to do that. That's what Beaver and I are trying to prevent, because we want a pretty tight tight field, because clearly the more mods you get, the more problems you have. Just with various things.
Yeah, but you guys got some late nights. I mean, I was traveling a couple of weeks ago, and I woke up and I just popped up in here, and I could have sworn Goat and Miki were modded next to Beaver sleeping. So I mean, Beaver may have popped back in and he was sleeping, but I could have sworn that was what happened.
Never happened.
I'm kidding, Beaver. I'm
Never
kidding.
happened.
I'm being playful. I'm kidding.
I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
You have to be punished.
Like, for example, Jazzy, I think she was thrown around on a bean by both Beaver and I at least twice or three times today.
Well, that was like 5 people in here, and then I did it to punish Mountain because he was despicable towards her.
Joe, does that explain that a little bit?
Kind of, but I don't know. Look, I just had work out of town, so I wasn't able to hop on during the week. I come back and it's like, are you holding auditions to replace me as a mod? I mean, I was just gone for a few days, It definitely seems like you have like this, what's the competition show Trump used to run?
Apprentice.
Apprentice or...
Yeah, The Apprentice. It's like you got your own little apprentice show going on.
No.
He got fired immediately.
All my mods are safe. Don't worry about you guys. Y'all are good. Now, there are some special guests that are on stage I see here. There's no guarantee that there'll be mods, going forward in various fashions, but who knows? Like, again, that's up for Beaver and myself to make, No eyeballs. No. Okay. So that explains why there's like a zillion beating up mods. It's just like late night. The room is dying. Say again, Black? What?
What the hell? What you trying to say? I don't deserve a mod up in here?
No, I'm not saying anything like that. I believe, not to put anybody on the spot, but I think Beaver, you modded Black.
This is just a green bean.
I did. I modded you, Black.
I'm going to toss you out.
It's part of my DEI initiative program.
It's part of the DEI stuff.
DEI mod initiative program, yeah.
And I do.
In all seriousness, she's been fair. So unlike
Black is consistent. I mean, I actually don't know much about her positions, but she's consistently here, so that's always good,
I think you guys should have more diversity. I think you guys should mod JJ. So that way he has a green bean, and when he's speaking, he can't be interrupted. He could just.
We do run the risk of someone booming the room. I mean, we don't know these. I don't know JJ that well, right? Adams, I don't know. Wait, did Adams leave?
Diversity is going to be the end of United States and Europe. That's your greatest.
It's none of my. I don't have any say so when it comes to these type of decisions, but I also feel like motherfuckers need to put in their work as well, man. Put in that work. Rather stick around, contribute to the conversation. You know what I mean? I'm a loyalty person, man. We big on that as game politics, man. So I mean, I kind of see it the same way with the Trump house, man. Like, stick around, help the room. You know what I mean? Add conversation to the room. You know what I mean? And mainly just stick around, like whether it's busting or if it's dry. Like you was here, like you're fucking with the Trump house, regardless of if it's a rainy day or a sunny day. I feel like a lot of people have flight risk.
And by the way, and Mountain's going to be pissed, but I'm not opposed with someone with just completely the opposite view. I mean, like, as long as I can trust them, that's all I care about. You're not going to boom the room. Then again, if they boom it once, then they'll never be able to come back into the room probably ever again. So there's probably no point. But like, that's the whole deal. Is like I said, you guys heard me say this about 20 million times. If we don't allow other people with other views to talk, it's just not going to work on this app right now. So, and everybody has to talk, by the way. So that's another thing we're trying to clean up.
What
We don't want
about
everybody.
Matt?
Oh, Mom, what are you doing? How you doing? Yeah. What's up? What's going on? Are you DEI
Hello,
too?
guys. Nice to meet you. And don't get me wrong. I don't think I don't have no problem. You know, if you somebody that like to go to different rooms, hear different conversations, hear different topics. You know what I mean? That's all good and well. You know what I mean? But then it come in as a listener. You know what I mean? A moderator, it takes a lot of goddamn responsibility, skill, and loyalty. Shit. That's how I see it.
Sister Himothy, it's not all about the Bloods and Crips. Come on, we're not speaking about the homeboy activity over here.
What is this guy talking about?
Yeah, he be coming in and out, man. It's all love.
Oh, I don't even know who this guy is, but so that's the story. Does anybody have any other questions about what? And then, of course, any other feedback, feel free to do it. Florida, I don't know if you're there. You're the one that was so vocal about saying something. I don't know if you're there, but
who is the piece of shit moving me for the second time down? Is it this motherfucking Bima?
Here we go.
Who the fuck is that?
Jesus. Uplift foreign voices.
Oh,
Yeah,
from
foreign
Australia.
voices, but you remove the foreign voices, you fucking piece
I
of
have
shit.
a question. In the
You wanna
country you
hear
come
foreign
from,
voices,
Mr.
but you
Arab,
removed it.
do you shit in the sand? Do you make a group in the sand and take a shit?
You just came out there, so shut the fuck up, motherfucker.
all right. Anyways, yeah, don't move squiggly line down. I don't know what he's referring to, but yeah.
You see what I mean? We're forced to have a hostile conversation with foreigners. What do you mean, Matt? Come on.
Dr. Adams, you're a fucking piece of shit LGBTQ, right? You're a fucking, I don't know, transformer. What is it called? Transgender, not transformer.
No, he's just old
And
fashioned.
you come up stage, talk shit about the stuff that you have zero idea about, zero knowledge, but you got a big mouth and a loud voice.
See, y'all want us to be against these words. You're not getting us to our side.
Gay. Why do you sound like an Iranian gay when you open your foreign mouth?
Because I fuck your mouth. Why?
No, your mother
That's how gay I am.
Iranian prostitute. Does she say
And I fucked your mother. That's why my voice became like this. Like
can I make a sexy time with you?
All right. That was me. Who are we?
I'm mad at Mr. Vegas though. He was entertaining.
You like Mr. Vegas? I thought you said you didn't like him a second ago. I don't know. JJ, welcome back. Somebody up for mod position around here. That was interesting.
Really?
It was me, JJ.
What that's very surprising considering like the way that you have spoken about me. Wow.
I said that it would be more productive if they gave you mod so you get everybody. So when you're interrupted, we don't have to spend time dealing with that. Listen, this is me trying to meet halfway. Okay, my opinion goes as far as my opinion. I have no pull. I didn't say all of that. I just gave my opinion.
Unfortunately, that would come at the cost of losing one of my favorite mods. So that's never going to happen.
Wait, are they that homophobic? Wow.
They are that homophobic, yes.
Okay. I love the honesty, though. Bigoted, but honest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we have feedback hour, JJ. What do you have to say about what we're doing? The topics,
Oh, wait a minute. That's a fake out. Yeah. Didn't Pepe come out a few weeks ago?
No. Pepe didn't come out, did he?
Are you sure?
You wish.
I could have sworn they were screaming and yelling. Brad was cussing somebody out, and Pepe was saying he was gay. So I mean, I don't.
Yeah. That might
right. So I mean, you gotta come on, man. You gotta make a judgment call. What are we doing?
Well, we'll say that for another day. But I want to hear. We have someone else here. Thoy, what's going on with you?
This is King Thoy Media. How are you? The literal guy. Literally speaking.
Okay.
I hope people are planned for December 2026 with the new rollout of the new passport with the 250th and Trump on it. Because with this information that's happening and the new sustainability plan going into the new financial system, it's going to be very intriguing how all of this stuff happens, because what's going to have to happen is people should have their affairs in order, because when we enter the new digital system, we're going to see a whole lot of chaos. So plan within the next 2 to 3 months a massive lockdown, because they'll have to lock people down in order to usher in this new system of new things. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a big catastrophic event. I know.
So we're not the preservation of the human race. We are the Trump House.
Never said you.
So I appreciate your submission. Do you have any feedback on the House or the people or the topics or?
I do. That's why I'm correlating it to what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
If you recognize pattern, by the way, autism is a gift, not a disability. I always lead with that, because with pattern recognition, most people laugh about it, such as what you're doing, although people don't realize certain people see certain patterns and see what's happening, because the media and all this stuff happening is nothing but gaslighting onto society. So society doesn't worry about getting certain things in order. They rather you be focused on the television and then hit you with the wow factor.
Okay.
Meanwhile, there was some.
What does this have to do with the feedback? I don't see any correlation.
Well, the correlation is it's all gaslighting. I watched it earlier today. They want you to watch this information about him signing new documents, etc., or things that he's doing. Although a few of you all know Trump is just the poster boy. He's not even the guy really calling the shots. I land.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Cashing your pink ticket. You're an interesting character.
So whoa. So why I'm very
I'm Bruno.
I'm very literal. Why am I an interesting character? And why am I forced to cash in a pink ticket? Because none of you all
to be a very offensive or you didn't have anything to say about what we're talking about. You went on to something completely different. No offense, I hope. But Mr. Vegas, did you what are you doing down there? Are you okay? You sprigging out? What do you got?
Basically, my name is Bruno. I live in Austria's coolest city, Vienna. No big deal whatsoever.
All right, interesting character. JJ, you want to give some feedback or no?
Yeah. Listen, y'all know the mods know that I'm pretty much cool with most of y'all. Most of the time, I have to get into Joe sometime because you like to antagonize me, Joe. So I have to push back. But to your credit, you take your blows as well as you give it. So I can respect that. But I feel like, as far as the mod thing, though, I do find it to be annoying when I get moved down and shit, especially when I'm not, causing the issue, but I'm going to react. Y'all know if anybody is, because y'all know me now for quite a little bit of time now, I am very, very cool with people. I counterpunch, I don't punch, so if somebody comes at me, I'm coming at them, just as hard, probably even worse. But I'm never the first person to throw the punch. It's always self-defense. So, I don't like getting modded, putting that, stop that shit. It's really whack. Obviously, I know how to, mic up and move on from stuff. I'm not one of those people who try to, hog the mic and stuff too much,
Oh my God.
Don't ever stop moving me down.
Wilhelm Schmidt.
JJ,
oh
are you open to constructive criticism?
Sure.
In all due respect, too, because I think you said kind things about me. You pancake a lot. So you'll make a point, and then you'll say the same point again, and you'll say the same point again, and you'll say it 3 or 4 times. And all you got to do is say the point once. You don't have to carry on for so long.
Let's see what she got in her stomach.
Well, I think sometimes I will admit, my short-term memory is not the best. So if I'm trying to make a point and I keep constantly getting interrupted on that same point, sometimes I'll be repeating what I said because I forgot that I just said it and I want to just finish the thought. That's why it's annoying when people constantly, and for some reason, I feel like that happens to me more than a lot of other people, or whatever. I don't cry about it, but it's annoying because it's if I have a point, I'm not the person that's gonna be trying to talk over everybody or whatever. A lot of times, I'll wait my turn, but then I'm actually speaking, and then people will just be interrupting me, and then I forget what the fuck I'm trying to say. That's just
Well, you got to keep your brain on point, man. You got to not let people.
I am the host of Funk Insights.
All right, we got it. 10 points for Gryffindor. We got.
Yeah, but it's difficult, Pockets, because I'm like my brain gets.
I get you. I stopped arguing with people because I had that problem. I was just like, fuck it, dude, I'm done.
JJ,
y'all can keep moving.
JJ, what do you think about the diversity of our mods? I think that's the most proudest thing I have going for me.
Who's the tannest one in it?
Hey, what?
Who's the tannest one on the mod team?
I mean,
because you're almost like translucent. So who's tan on the mod?
I'm point, but yeah.
Wait, but what's the diversity part though?
I think Pepe's the darkest one.
Yeah, and Pepe.
What is a bouquet?
I would say it was A-Check. I think A-Check is probably the darkest human being I've ever seen, and most certainly the darkest monk.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because Bima, I thought Bima was black, but apparently Bima is white, right?
No, she's black.
Bima's black.
Bima is white.
No, she's black.
How the fuck would you do that?
I'm curious.
She got some black in her, but it has nothing to do with genetics. Bima is white.
She's an African American or an American. Doesn't matter.
By the way,
Vegas, you practicing your English?
She's not black or white, and from this being my second or third time in here, I realized so this platform is somewhat like a Saturday Night Live.
Better.
And I would say you have a Latino,
it's like the Chappelle
but Pepe identifies as white.
It just seems like a whole lot of joke.
He identifies as white. So, but overall, does our diversity? I mean, we're doing DEI up here. Do you feel like you're represented in any form on this stage, JJ? In any form?
Well, not really, because even though I love my brother Timothy, we're very, very different on just being black men, and I think that you guys need, especially being conservative, right? Like, if we're gonna say like conservatives have no problem with the gays, then it's like, why not have a gay mod? Like,
I thought you were talking about blackness. We talking about gays. Oh my God. I mean,
because Timothy's black.
We went through this already.
Wow, dude, this is real life politics. You need a gay, a black,
a bouquet party. No bouquet party.
We do that. We need to get a Muslim. Then we need to get an Asian.
Right. Don't forget tranny. We need tranny.
This opens up a tranny. Yeah, we have to.
What did you just say, Matt?
It's like we have to do a whole Pandora's box of like mods. Like we have to get.
You need to get a what?
A tranny.
This is what.
No. Before that.
I don't know. What did I say?
What did you say before the Asian?
The Jurassic Park.
He said we need a Muslim.
It's like filled
with animals. This is how this shit starts.
I told
this
you,
how this shit starts. Look at Great Britain
and shit, man. Black and white's enough, man. All the color shit's enough. We gotta stop adding all that shit.
Matt, they're gonna be saying from the river to the sea, and they're gonna be dropping you down in your own room.
I think we're just gonna run out of picket fences and signs. We're just gonna run out of shit.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all
different than Muslim.
How many women do we have? We only have. God, I just realized I don't think we have that many women.
Yeah, but I don't. But to be fair, I'm not necessarily a big like some of the conservative women are problematic. How about I nominate Pockets?
I think Monica should be Monica.
I'm not conservative. I can't stand Trump.
Monica kind of represents a conservative women. Anne, if Anne would come up from the goo, I think that Anne would be, wonderful to represent the conservative women as well. But Anne's busy.
Anne's a cool auntie.
She's doing what she's doing. Yeah.
I think Monica would have everyone nervous. I think you should mod her for one day.
Serendipity is always a good north. I feel like.
I think we should also support. We should also support Pepe in his coming out journey, as we want to be supportive.
JJ, I'm just going to give you some feedback. Let me just give you this feedback. If you're a gay man in these type of settings, okay, where you understand what time it is and you understand the opinions, you have to be respectful to people's boundaries. So when you keep bringing up things that people aren't trying to listen to that are related to the topic,
stop centering yourself.
You see what I'm saying? And centering your sexuality, like that's not helping. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not helping in the outreach effort, brother. It's really not. You know what I mean? Just tone it down just a little bit. How about this? Start less with, hi, I'm JJ and I'm gay, and hi, I'm JJ, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm 10, 15 other things other than just being gay.
But the other one's more fun.
Could that maybe work for you?
Did that just come from a gay guy?
Yeah, but I don't really think that I necessarily lead with that. I just think I speak on the things that are relevant to my community based off of my lived experience. It's just like how, Himothy is Black, he speaks about his Blackness. I think it's important because there are very serious issues that I can enlighten, you guys, based off of that certain perspective. Because if you're not
more serious than my submission,
Wallace, relax. We know you
well,
guys.
No, I got skipped over last time because JJ centered himself, and I waited patiently. Shut up, Pockets.
Wallace, you got this, man.
Go ahead, Wallace. Go ahead, Wallace.
And you just got here too. Why don't you shut the fuck up and wait your turn too?
Wallace, it's your go.
It's an angry man.
It's your go, Wallace. Take the mic and let them behold.
I was gonna let JJ finish.
Get that brave heart, Wallace.
I'm gonna let JJ finish this time. Last time I just left. I just left last time. JJ will not stop.
Fuck, man. Bitch.
Honestly, you're showing more emotional intelligence.
I just had some feedback. You came in and wrecked the room. We were doing something before you got here.
Blaming gays, man.
But
are you gay, Pocket? I'm sorry.
No, only when I do cocaine. But the rest of them.
That's hot.
But I think it would be good though, like especially moving forward with everything going on right now in the politisphere. Having at least one openly gay guy, would be good. Even if it's not me, it could be Adams.
It's Adams. We got one.
Adam's not really.
I don't want to leave this dumpster fire. I do not want to leave this dumpster fire. Nope.
Yeah, I've never heard Adam leave with, hey, I'm Adam, I'm gay. I had to figure out he was gay through the grapevine. I didn't think he was gay for almost.
Yeah, and so that's what I was gonna say. I think that's the thing with me. I don't necessarily feel like I lead with being gay. I think I'm just very proud to be gay, and I'm very open about it. So I think that's the distinction that I kind of.
Oh yeah, you sweet, honey. You sweet.
Yeah.
Well, just be more open to people's boundaries. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's what a lot of the men in the room are saying as well. And, let's just move around it. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, I'm all about respecting boundaries. So,
are we talking about ourselves or are we talking about the house?
I think we're talking about a different realm.
Because I know I'll be listening sometimes. Timothy put that how did we get on all this gay shit? And it'd be a lot of times it'd be other people bringing it up, and then I'm just like,
I ain't gonna cap. I'm definitely one of them. I definitely be saying that. I'm not gonna. I'd be like, how the fuck did we get on this?
It was Matt's fault, bro. He's the one that asked JJ, yo, you feel represented in here, bro? We do. Knew exactly what he was doing.
Matt. Wait, who's Peter though? I don't think I know Peter.
Oh, Peter's one of our best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's practicing his English in here.
Okay.
Dude, Pockets, oh Lord, he gonna cuss you out.
That's okay. So as long as he practices, I'm cool with that.
So,
oh wait, Black is Black.
Yeah, it's Black. Her.
Yeah. So okay, cool. You got so you have two girls and one Black girl and one Black guy. Okay.
Well, right.
And Pepe, who is colored,
our
but
Black lineup is pretty strong. We have Sword. I don't know if you've met Sword. Have you met Sword yet, JD, or no?
I'm not sure I have.
You came in early.
Sora's cool as a fan, man.
Yes.
Sora's cool. I didn't know he was modded. No, I didn't know he was modded in here like that.
Oh yeah, all the time. Sword. We have. You're gonna. A lot of people are gonna like this, but Free. Edward.
Yeah.
Mr. Edward Lane.
I like Edward. I mean, we have very different positions, but I like how he explains himself.
That's Pops. He's cool.
Nah. One day he gonna snap, and I can't wait for it.
I've heard it already.
Now he's
and
gonna
guess
really
what?
snap.
He was respecting what he was said.
Yeah, Judas gonna be his.
I think that's it. I mean, it's like 5 or 6.
Sig. I mean, Sig's a solid Black mod.
Yeah, I'm going like consistently. Yes, true. Free's not consistent either, but
Free's cool.
Yeah.
And Free doesn't do much. He kind of just like an ornament. I like him.
Could be a little bit more patient, but he's cool. Smart guy.
Can y'all imagine if Wallace was a mod?
Yo,
He's been a
that
mod.
would be the most
I've been a mod
that day.
And I was gonna.
He does mod.
He's actually a really good mod.
Yes, he is.
Matt, white men are actually underrepresented.
Probably true. Because now I'm looking around. You actually probably are right. Actually,
Just because Pepe burned don't mean you know what.
Well, he identifies as a white supremacist, right?
Nah, that man is
I think
Mr.
we're short.
Crime.
You probably are right, Joe. Actually, yeah.
How does it feel? Feel empowering?
Why don't y'all mod Rich? He represents.
You already know the answer to
Do we want to die?
This why you can't trust black women. Move her down. This why you can't trust black women. No, Matt, you done messed up.
Rich is like Chernobyl, dude.
I'm just messing with you, Black.
Hey, Mithy, is there one mod that you would like to see more often here, or no? Or is there anybody that you would want to see modded? I don't know.
I would like to see D. I think D brings a lot of value and knowledge. I think he comes around a lot as well.
The letter D, or is the one?
The letter D, the one with the Japanese wife.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think y'all should do like a poll for who's the best mod.
It's gonna be Matt.
No, we don't want strife. I don't want strife amongst the mods, JJ.
Why not? Stir up
I just think some people do
You
get
get to
a
see
little.
who's on your side, Matt. It's a good time.
People get a green beam and they get a little trigger happy when like somebody's like cussing them out or calling them a bitch, and then send them to the goo, kick them out the room. Like BB was a prime example.
Oh yeah, I forgot about BB. By the way, two things that we need to discuss. Let's get the elephant out of the room a little bit here, since this is a feedback hour. How do we feel about Pepe? And you know how he mods the room, or is participating in the room. Are we all okay with that, or everything else?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, I hear one no down there.
Yes, I go yeah.
Pocket says yes. Black girl, you came off mic. What did you say?
No.
No? Okay. So you guys you want a little less Pepe and that? Okay.
I want more. It's gonna teach us emotional regulation, bro. It's gonna teach us control. We gotta have some craziness around.
And for me, I never want to hear like the critique about me over censoring myself when Pepe exists on this app. Like it's just.
You mean over centering yourself?
Yeah, like that's not what I said. Like,
I'm not gonna lie though, he only responds when he's confronted. If we just leave him alone, bro, he won't be doing shit. So people just start talking.
So I'm gonna say this.
Cap, bro.
I'm
gonna say this.
We talking about a black.
I'm gonna say this.
Black for sure. He's gonna come off a mic 100%.
So I think that Pepe has a lot of things to say, and I think Pepe has a lot of value. So Pepe needs to choose his place in this room. I think we get a lot better out of Pepe as a stage member as opposed to a mod. The reason being is because Pepe does go on a lot of monologues, which do have a lot of value. But if we could compact that, into something to where people can learn from it and listen, that's an opportunity for Pepe to perfect his modding. But I just like listening to Pepe more in this space as a participant as opposed to a mod.
I wish y'all knew him 5 years ago. He was so cool, man.
I did know
really
Pepe 5 years ago.
Yeah, this
Pepe
is
is cool as a fan. I like
Pepe.
Pepe.
This is a product of like people literally fucking with him. He's so chill, like he snapped out of nowhere. So I don't mind Pepe. I don't even mind his diatribes. A lot of y'all sound stupid as fuck too. So gotta deal with you guys, anyways. So I don't think there's any difference from his rants to someone else ranting about how much they think Trump is, the savior of all saviors. I feel like each side is like the perception is stupid is in the eye of the beholder at this point. So keep him.
I think Pepe should save those type of rants and the style of it for white America. I think that people come in here to listen to more of the politics as opposed to, the show that Pepe puts on.
Yeah, we talked
you know what I mean?
about that. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I think Adams literally laid it out perfectly, man. I think Pepe could definitely add some knowledge and value, definitely coming from the spectrum of, the white power, type of rhetoric. But I think it gets to a point where you'll have the whole stage almost attacking him. And then he'll kind of like go into defense mode. And then, like Adam said, the monologue would just kind of go on. So as if somebody was if he was just on the stage contributing to the conversation and then people are attacking him, it would die down a little bit more than when he's a moderator and it's just a back and forth, him versus goddamn the whole stage. So I mean,
and that also says like quite a few racist things, like kind of quite often. So I think that you kind of open yourself up to some attack when you're using the N-word with the hard R, and that's your PTR, especially with that voice. I'm just saying.
But people can choose to respond to it. People
no, they do, but
the way they respond to it.
But that's why you're gonna get all that attention.
Right. To me, it's like, do I want to sit there and listen to somebody saying the N-word for 45 minutes straight? No. I'll choose another room to listen to. But for a lot of other people on this app, they'll sit and they'll engage and they'll go back and forth. But I just feel like in this space, if you want to open up the conversation to have other opposing ideas, listen to people have a short, compacted idea as to, the topic that you guys are speaking about, Pepe should just limit his monologue.
No, this is the perfect space for him. I think he should get his shit out here so he doesn't in the streets. I think we're saving a lot of lives.
You just like Instagram.
We gotta think of the bigger picture, man. No, honestly, yo, I used to get so triggered by Pepe. Then I realized, like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what's he doing? He's just talking shit. He's in his house talking shit. Like, he's not really doing much. The people who are triggered, who want to act like prisoners in these rooms because they can't leave for some reason, they just feel stuck here, like drawn to all the chaos. Like, that's not his problem. He's just speaking his mind. I feel like this is the only space that really allows it. So shout out to that. Pepe has taught me a lot of emotional regulation and control over the past 7 years of Clubhouse almost. So shout out to him for that. And I hope everyone learns from him and realizes that there are people out there in power that think like him. And that's what we should be worried about. Pepe.
It was also like really nice to witness the absolute dismantling of Pepe by Brad, like for 3 days in a row.
I don't even want to rehash that. I don't even want to rehash that.
Brad just puts a cherry on top of his rhetoric.
That was just a pointless, unproductive use of a lot of people's time. But
it was entertaining, but
the crash outs would be cool. The crash outs would be cool with me. I'm for people crashing out 5 minutes, maybe even 10. But I mean, once it gets to like a 15, 20-minute mark, people start leaving the room. Like, it just gets to a certain point where it's like, y'all just crashing out. Like, the topic is no longer the topic. It's just crashing out. And I think, people, it's a balance between crashing out and then getting back on topic.
Y'all do know this is the most consistent space, though, right on Clubhouse.
The what?
No,
like, y'all, dude, yeah, literally, this is the only space that consistently has like 40, 50 people.
Politically correct.
Every day?
The hundreds of people. Yes.
Yeah, politically correct.
I listen to that shit on my way to work every day.
They last 3-4 days over.
Pockets. Yes.
Wait, politically correct doesn't run 48-hour rooms.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Like we do. And they mostly talk about like politics and Nolan Wells and shit like that. Like, I mean, we talk about everything in this motherfucker.
They do the live news. Like, they're more of a news channel.
Like CNN.
Yeah, like they run like Meet the Press clips and talk about the news. And they stated that's what they do. So we're more, obviously Trump centered. But then we will throw in all the other topical.
And Patty even said it. Like, this is probably the one room she said she can come to, and she knows she can get a good crash out for a few minutes. Like, any other room you go to,
you're getting fucking gooed. Like, I think we're the most lenient, you know what I mean, when it comes to moderation, like sending people to the goo, bringing you right back up, knowing you just crashed out, you're not coming off mic. Like, we get so many fucking chances. It's like, it's crazy. It's love.
But there's already a space for that. There's chillism.
No.
So, but chillism don't do the numbers like Trump House.
Chillism will argue about the word hamburger for 3 months. It ain't nothing like this house. Nothing like.
And I've been going to the chillism as of late, but chillism be around like the 20, 30s. You know, I haven't seen chillism get hit over 50.
Well, I mean, that's where I was when Pepe and Brad were crashing out. I went over there. I haven't been over there in a while. But, you know, that used to be the space known on that app or on this app for people to just crash out. And for every once in a while to talk about politics and religion. You guys are really adopting no different of a format over here.
Oh, no. I think this is very different. You'll go from like AIDS to Jesus to Trump in this room in a matter of 5 minutes. And it'll be like very fluid. No one will stop it either. It's very awesome how like we'll take a bunch of left turns and U-turns and then get stuck in a tornado and shit of a conversation. So this house is very different. I love this house. I do get gooed a lot, but that's because Beaver's secretly for me. But I do get gooed a lot, and that's okay. And I appreciate Face for doing that.
But what I'm saying, Pockets, is the elements of dysfunction, while it's basically it's done in a different style over here, but the elements of dysfunction are the same.
I mean, that's true.
We believe in per capita here. At least we believe in per capita here. Over there, you can't even use it without being called a racist.
Well,
so
that's pretty funny.
I think we're doing a little bit better over here.
I know you'll be called it by me. It'll just be quiet.
See, the micro focusing on specific details like that. People can't just have broad conversations and keep it short. You know what I mean? And get to the point. It's turning into a chillism-like space where it just starts becoming dysfunctional because people have to say everything in a perfect, specific way. Otherwise, you can't get through a sentence because people are micro-analyzing every which word that you're using in a way that's just not entertaining.
You hear what they're saying about you, JJ?
Jesus. So I feel like it comes to a point where, you know, I just try something a little bit different, man. I know you can do it.
Don't
you should be more creative. I'm disappointed. You're getting rusty.
Don't change shit. This is like a drug. It's like crack. Don't change nothing.
Where's Florida?
Y'all gonna turn it into fentanyl and we all gonna die and shit.
Beaver, what is your problem?
Yo, Beaver, throw me an X. Wait, I got you, bro. Hey.
Like, seriously, what is your problem, Beaver? My goodness.
Man, a lot of people been turning on my boy Beaver, man. I don't know. I don't like it. But
I love Beaver.
A lot of people turn on my man's as of late.
Beaver turning on me. Beaver and I used to be
Beaver's
close.
my only advocate.
The problem is.
I don't even know
Beaver and I used to be close. I don't understand what the issue is. This is weird. I mean, I don't understand this, Beaver. What's going on?
I think he took exception to this space being compared to chillism. That was a very shameful.
Yeah, I think that was.
No, if you really want to do this, I think it's because I voted for Karen Bass. I think that's exactly what it is. And Beaver will not let it go. I'm not letting it go either because I voted for the best candidate.
Why would you vote for someone named Karen? Which was like a bad omen.
Because she was the best candidate.
Oh, heartbreak. I'm just kidding. I know what the fuck is. I don't care.
Beaver, would you like to discuss this?
Beaver, do we like each other? Are we good?
Beaver, it's not about liking and not liking people. It's a matter of Beaver doesn't agree with the fact that I voted for a Democrat in a nonpartisan race.
Earned it.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, let's go. I got a heart, man. Fucking winning.
It's like I never let it go.
Beaver, you gonna do me like that? I was wondering. You really gonna be that petty?
I'm wondering why Florida is now black. Like, it's giving Rachel Dolezal.
I don't think
I
that's
feel like him, Brad, and Pepe all came from like the same region.
Like, Florida is definitely white.
I don't think that's Florida.
Because he has the same picture as a white man. Like, if you go to the next photo, this is wild.
He went into it was so funny. We were in his face was predominantly black, and he was like, "I was just appreciating a black man. Like, look at this stuff."
Right.
Said they lost it on him. It was so great.
Thanks, Joe. See, Joe and I are becoming friends. I think that's the story of the Trump house. Spoke too soon.
Oh, should we all give hearts to Peter? We all should.
See, you getting carried away. You just need to chill. Just chill. I mean, listen, you'll get a lot from Joe if you just chill. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is, JJ.
Nah, dude, be confrontational, bro. Never back down.
I don't know. Listen, I'm an Aries. I'm definitely very passionate, but I feel like I'm pretty good at, like, at least picking my spots. It just depends on the subject. But I'm like, when I compare myself to people like Pepe, yeah, I mean, it's shit.
But let me explain something to you. And I don't know what you're saying either, because to me, I grew up with in a faith-based home. And, you're in a room full of a bunch of Christian nationalists. I'm not saying that there's, all Christians on this stage, but you're talking about zodiac signs and being an Aries and shit like that. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So at the end of the day, if you want to, and I'm not saying to speak their language exactly how they speak it, but if you're trying to communicate and trying to appeal to people on a human by human basis, speak their language. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. What the fuck you're talking about, bro? Like, we don't know the zodiac shit. Your sun, your rising, your moon said it. We don't fucking know.
Hey, yo, JJ, I know my shit, bro. We'll get in contact. We'll get in contact.
Yes, and what it means is I run hot. I've always run hot. So when I'm very passionate, and when it comes to issues that affect my community, when it comes to a lot of the policies, I'm like, listen, y'all know how I feel about Trump, but it's not really for me about Trump. It's more about how people are reacting and the kind of, the social dynamics and how I feel like the rise of Trump has infected, our society from my vantage point.
You get heat flashes?
Hold on, because JJ, I'm calling bullshit, because Trump, this government has been this way for decades, centuries. It hasn't changed. Trump is going to come and go. Trump doesn't even really have power that we think he does. It comes down to your state. And a lot of people aren't voting locally. They want to vote for the president. They think it's cool. But no one's voting locally. All your senators, House representatives have been in the same seats for years, and no one's voting them out. That's the problem. So I feel like, what I've learned, what I've learned with politics, and I don't agree with the mods on 90% of the shit that they believe in, and I'm still here. And I'm able to have a conversation with Matt, I'm able to have a conversation with Beaver. I'm able to put my shit to the side and just realize people got their beliefs, man. I don't like Trump, but I love America. That's all I can say. I hate the politicians, I hate the government sometimes, but I love America. At least we can all agree on that and come to that consensus. And the whole idea about, like, community, bro, is such bullshit, man. People aren't looking out for each other like community. People are going to these hospitals, these methadone clinics. People in the LGBTQ are not going to these, places, these schools and they're not doing that. People aren't doing that shit. They're coming on apps and complaining about what's going on. But no one's going to schools and talking about AIDS or safe sex. No one's doing the work. So it's this whole idea of, like, community, bro, is such a, and not to be disrespectful to everybody, it's such a cop-out of a way to just say that you can't deal with people disagreeing with you. And you got to, use that community as a way to use it as a crutch to be like, well, hey, this is why I'm upset. No, you're upset because people don't agree with your views and you don't want to sit with that. And that's okay. People are not going to agree with you. I hate half the shit that Matt says, but I'd probably die for him if it ever came down to it, just because we both love America. And so I feel like it just comes down to, man, like, stop, just have some logic, have some discernment. Realize that, that community shit, that whole us against them and gays against blacks and whites against Mexicans, it's bullshit. And that's exactly what you're playing into with the government. So the very thing you hate, you're becoming. And that's what I've learned with all the politics here. And you'll argue for months about the same shit. And not going to change unless you just truly love America. And
every day it's the same bad jokes. It's the same, attacks against certain, viewpoints of ideology. It's the same shit every day. Like, this shit is
It's why I troll.
And you should, Braveheart. Mel Gibson would.
Well, I do think that, like, depending on your experiences, like, you're gonna delineate in how you kind of maneuver, like, through the world. I think it's things definitely hit home when you are, part of communities that are being attacked. And when I say attacked, like, not just physically, because trust and believe, anybody fucking touching me, like, in real life, but, the narratives about, your community. It's like, you already have, especially me being, okay. I think it's important for people to realize who are not a part of a minority that when you are part of a minority and it's been normalized for people to just basically trash your community, like, that has a ripple effect. And then you actually have to deal with that shit in real life. It can affect the opportunities that you can get. It can affect the implicit biases that people already have because we're imperfect human beings. So when you're trying to get a certain job or trying to get an opportunity or a loan or whatever, and you have people who hold these viewpoints, and then they're looking at you versus looking at somebody else who has, like, a skin color that they more aligned with,
and
or
you should spit in their face, JJ. You should spit in their face.
JJ, you're
but the thing is, they're not going to say that.
But JJ, I hear what you're saying, but you're also painting this in a reality where, the other side doesn't have any grievances. Part of the reason why a lot of people in this space, and myself included, have so many harsh criticisms towards the LGBT community, because a lot of the recent inception of this identity being in the mainstream has been done so in a way that has been forced. And it's been done so in a way that makes a lot of people uncomfortable in them being criticized for their actions to this change into society, and they're being demonized and having agency removed from them, such as things like employment, or being socially shamed because they don't want to send their kid to a school that has a bunch of rainbow flags. I don't think that there's anything wrong with anybody feeling that way. So I think at the end of the day, when you look at your grievances, you have to also understand that on the other side, there are very valid grievances. And that's part of the reason why you hear a lot of cyclical conversations that bother you, because there is a lot of cyclical reasons, beyond just the presence of these things existing on the app that make people feel that way. The same way that, it's, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like,
Adams, we don't talk about the kids. Everyone's talking about their own adult communities. Adults. We are adults. We are grown. If you cannot learn to enjoy yourself, to go get some dick in the ass, enjoy your life and not worry about people talking shit, that's your problem. When people want to come to me and say, oh, white people are racist, now I'd be like, well, I'm not fucking racist. I would fight tooth and nail to literally prove that I'm not. It was a waste of my time. Same with you. Waste your time to go tell somebody, oh, I'm gay. You better like this shit and accept. No, people don't got to accept it. It's like not accepting the Confederate flag, bro. Same thing. But hold on. I feel like the problem is the community that's really getting destroyed is our children, is the kids. We have kids that are going to school who don't have a choice in what they learn. They don't have a choice in what they have to read. They don't have a choice in what they have to do. They are literally being trained as soldiers, and we're worried about how fucking Daniel, who wanted to be Daniela, wanted to use the woman's bathroom with a young girl in there, and we want to say he's being discriminated against. No, get your ass out the fucking bathroom. Go home and use the toilet. Like, certain shit like that is where we have to realize there are agents in each community that do not represent the actual moral of that community, and we can't keep centering them. We can't keep defending them. Let the bad apples be bad apples, and just, protect your peace and protect your beliefs. But don't go out there and make this, these bad apples the epitome of, like, we need justice when, we know damn well that person was wrong. Same with the whole Nolan Wells case. We got to see that shit is wrong. Certain shit we can all agree on is just morally wrong. And we just got to stop. I feel like if we focused on the kids, man, it's the only group that matters. Dude, we're grown adults. If we can't get our shit together, the kids are fucked. We got kids missing every day, and we're talking about, if some guy likes you sucking dick. It's crazy to me. And we have children missing right as we speak, and no one's really doing anything about it because we're so caught up in our own shit. So I feel like if we focus on the kids, man, shit's gonna be better. But until then, we're just gonna be stuck running in circles.
Here's and I hear where you're coming from, and you're not going to get any pushback from me in the sentiment. But I think that part of correcting this issue, and I think what part of the LGBT community needs to learn, is you are not raising children, you have no plans to raise children, you don't have any children of your own, there should be no reason why there should be a conversation about those said individuals having a discussion with parents about what they need to prepare their children for in stepping out into the world to make them feel accommodated and more comfortable. So I think that even a lot of LGBT parents can kind of relate to the sentiment that if somebody does not have a dog in the fight in the said cell well-being or the development of that said child, they shouldn't have an opinion in terms of what that parent is doing to accommodate that said individual. I just think that that's just very narcissistic, self-serving, and just very weird.
Right.
I think,
Look how nasty the world's
what's important to know though is that we're all living in the society together, and I think that sometimes gets missed when we talk about certain people's comfort. There's nothing within our government that gives people a right to comfort. Like, I think that, and that's what in my mind is being pushed for nowadays. It's like people want to feel comfortable with the things that are moving and changing. And it's weird because we don't seem to get the same level of outrage, at least in the same way. Like when we think about things like AI, things like, the fucking cyborgs and shit that they're talking about, and like robotic police forces. A lot of that shit makes me uncomfortable, but I know like I'm going to have to learn to adapt. In that same way, when it comes to the LGBT community, it seems like, oh, well, because of certain things that we don't like, or certain instances of harm by, demented individuals within a community, we get to completely vilify the entire community. And I just don't subscribe to that. I think it also comes from a place of, but hold on, I think it also comes from a place of privilege. When you are a part of the community, shit, listen, I'm a gay man and I've been misgendered. A lot of times, like my gender has been like weaponized against me. Me personally, I don't give two shits. But if you're actually living an experience like being trans, and regardless of whether or not you can call, because people get so hung up on terms and pronouns and all this type of shit, at the end of the day, when you are a certain way that's non-normative, and you've been that way and you've expressed that, and you just want to be able to live your life and not be bothered, yeah, you're going to be upset, especially when people are telling you, hey, you don't have a right to have rights, or your rights should be less important than mine because I'm the majority, you're the minority. It's weird when we do that shit.
How about kids forcing real quick pocket? What about kids in your community forcing other kids to decide that and advocating for other, because my child was bullied by your community. And so the community is a protected class status. So there's nothing I could have done. It wasn't recorded. And my daughter was totally like weirded out, like forced to choose to be a part of the community or not. So will you answer to the bulliness in your community?
Well, just before he up.
Well,
I got it.
No. Well, I think first and foremost, I'm against.
No, JJ, you're going to listen to all of us respond to what you just said.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead, Pocket.
Yeah, because that just made my blood boil so much hearing we just want to live in our truth and we just want to be comfortable. You have every right to be comfortable. You are in the United States of America. You can go home to your safe space and be comfortable. Imagine being a woman in the healthcare industry, wanting certain care, needing certain care. Imagine being a woman in prison, needing certain care. But someone who wants to be, transitioned is getting that care instead. Imagine a man coming up to you as a woman and saying, I'm one of you too. I'm yours as well. Imagine a man being deemed woman of the fucking year because he split his dick in half and inserted it up and just said, you know what, this is me. So the idea of uncomfortableness, this is where it really gets me, is that a lot of people have to accommodate to the people who, are saying they're the minorities, or they're the ones that are, being, oppressed, or the ones that are being, hurt. I feel like the amount of grace that has been given, the amount of movements, activism that has been given to the LGBTQ community, and literally forgotten about, JJ, the women, the literal women, the ones that you were supposed to fight for during, feminism and the activists for their healthcare rights. That shit never happened. A lot of shit that women were trying to fight for that included the LGBTQ and their plight got lost in the play. And it literally dehumanized women to the point where we don't even know what a woman is. The idea of a woman has literally lost its power and its gems. So to me, I hate that bullshit of the trans whole thing. Like back in the day, man, they would do this shit in their basements. No one was going out in tutus with fucking animal tails and showing they shit and showing their bellies wearing a little tight corset. No one was doing this shit. They were doing it in the privacy of their own home where it should stay. They should never be outside. Even with, the slut walk, feminism, I don't think these girls should be outside dressing like whores in front of all these kids. There's so many things that we can say that make us uncomfortable. To be honest, I don't think that the scale of abuse toward LGBTQ is what we truly believe it is. I think they try to maximize and magnify certain situations to make it seem like it's a huge deal. But to be honest, JJ, I'm not gonna lie, man, the LGBTQ got some power. They got some privilege. You can't even speak up against them. But dare you speak up against a woman? She'll never be believed. Speak up against a trans? Man, they'll get everyone's vote. Everyone's vote, just off of pure fear that if they disagree, they will be deemed haters or whatever the case may be, anti-gender, whatever the case may be. But there's no anti-woman. There's no anti-man. Everything that has to do with us as human beings is being just diminished by someone's idea to cross a boundary, make people uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable with robots? I'm uncomfortable with a dude in a tutu with the animal tail in my bathroom. That's just not gonna happen. He will be knocked out, kicked in the balls, and kicked out that bathroom. I don't care what scene I have to make. There's common courtesy. There's just, understanding. So until they understand my uncomfortability, I don't give a fuck about theirs. And until they stop playing with the fact that I'm a woman and that's the most powerful thing in the world, that I can create life and I can do all these things, I really don't care what they're going through, because they don't care what I'm going through. That plight was missed during that activist movement. And it breaks my heart, because I know you're not one of those people, but that's a lot of what we're dealing with, honestly, with the LGBTQ women, at least, being told that we're not special anymore, or we're not, it's just like anyone can be us, which is awesome. That's all I'm gonna do.
So yeah, I want to follow up on that. JJ, I mean, spare the victimization. Just a few nights ago, you wished a hex on all of us up here on stage, that we would have our children would grow up gay to hate and despise us. Do you remember when you said that? I know it was tongue in cheek, but some of us
not exactly the words.
Yeah, some of us do see though that some of the alphabet people do hold some sort of resentment towards white Christians, and that we need to be breeded out to some degree, right? And I think that's why some of this animosity comes back towards people that say crude things like that and have these type of motives. I've lived all my life and there's been gay people, but they don't say things like that. But the ones that do, let me tell you what, I remember that shit. And it's like, all right, I know how you really think about us. And I'll leave it right there.
Okay.
And I love you, JJ. I just want to say I love you. None of that was to you.
Tupac is, I think that this is the thing, Joe. I think you got to also put everything in context. So we talk very, because even him, if you like, we spoke about this before, because I had a room. He's like, you don't talk, in the same way you do in your room, in his room. I'm like, this room clearly, like, we talked very spicy. I've been come after several times, and I fight back, and I don't really care because I can do that. Like, my skin is fucking well moisturized, but Teflon, so I don't care. But I just think it's kind of rich, because like I've literally heard the N-word here several times. For me, that's a hard boundary. You said the N-word to me in life, and you're white, like those are fighting words for me, because I'm very much black. So in the same way, that F word that you like to throw around as a slur against the gay community, those are also fighting words. It's not just language, and we can free speech or whatever. Speech has consequences, because for me, it's about the intention, and your intention is to offend. So, like, in kind, when I am, obviously speaking that way, and I've been offended, obviously I'm going to offend back. But I will say this. I think that you and I see that a bit differently because that was not some sort of hex. What I was saying is that it's funny because people who are homophobic, like, I'll be honest, I had a homophobic father. And hello, it's like, I think that part of the reason from my perspective why gay people are even here, people who are different in a lot of ways, because there's a lot of people who deviate from the norm, but yet we're still a minority. And I think the beauty of that is it forces society to actually, love each other. Because when if you're especially coming from a Christian, you think that a black Christian. No, I grew up in the Christian household, and part of being Christian and loving thy neighbor isn't loving someone who agrees with you. It's not loving someone who believes in your ideology. It's not like, even if the Jesus, he wasn't coming to be in the church and chill with the deacon and sing with the choir and be on the pulpit just with the gospel. No, he was going to chill with the outcasts. He was going to chill with the people that society has deemed as unworthy, And I feel like if he was around today, he'd probably be, chilling with the LGBT community. Obviously, there'd be some discussions there. Well, that's my opinion. So I think obviously there would be some discussions there, but I think to what you said, I'm not wishing anything bad on you, to clarify that. I just think that when you hold certain bigotry, which I do believe that being homophobic is a form of bigotry, then I think that sometimes the beauty of God is that he will allow you to come to terms with that bigotry, and it will actually be for your own benefit, because there is a privilege in holding a certain position. Hold on, Pockets. There's a privilege in. Okay, thanks. There's a privilege in. Like, sometimes people have these, like, you have just the way that you think and the way that you navigate, and you feel like this is just part of me being, Christian and whatever, and everything is fine. So you're not challenged. There's a lot of people who, you go and worship with people who think like you. You're often surrounding yourself with people who believe the same things that you do, and you're not very challenged. So I think sometimes the brilliance of God is that if you think that, being gay is the worst thing in the world, then you know what? He might just give you a gay son or daughter and then force you to actually come to terms with your own bigotry. And I do believe that it is. And as far as the children situation and what you were talking about, Pockets, and what you're talking about with the women, first and foremost, I'm definitely a full supporter of women. I do think that it's important for women to be safe in the bathroom. But I do think that there's a delineation and a distinction between being safe and being comfortable. And I can tell you this for me, as a man going into a public men's bathroom, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable being around other men, or actually even more so children. I don't feel comfortable when I see little boys come up in the bathroom with me. That shit makes me very uncomfortable, But we live in a society for right now that says that, okay, this is the norm. So what I'm saying when it comes to the hold on, Pockets, when it comes to the trans situation, I'm not saying, hey, I want you to be in a place where you have people, from what you described, Pockets, is like cosplaying, transes, because those people are not actually trans. But when I'm talking about trans, I'm talking about people who actually, especially trans women, actually go through a physical transition, have been on hormones, and they're basically assimilating into a female-looking presence to some reasonable degree, so that when they do go to use the restroom, they're not setting off alarm bells and they're not causing some sort of disturbance, because really what they're trying to do is just use the bathroom in peace and not be like, that weirdo who was like wearing a tail or something that you said. So that's what I support. And last thing with the kids, I do believe that, here's the thing with the kids. Your kids, we're all living in this society together, and your kids are my neighbors, right? Your kids are going or in the streets with me when I'm trying to go to the store or do whatever I'm doing. They're at the bus stop. They're coming to and from school. A lot of times they're unsupervised because y'all don't always pick up your kids to and from school. So we're interacting, and even just walking by each other. And it's important that they know how to be respectful. And so if you're not teaching them that there are different types of people in the world and that everybody deserves to be treated with a level of respect, harassing people because, their parents maybe don't agree with how I live my life and who I choose to be publicly. Because it's not this bedroom. This bedroom shit is bullshit. I'm gay 24/7 at the grocery store, the gas station, at the bank, at the McDonald's, at the whatever. Like, I am fully myself, just like everybody else is. So your kids need to know how to be respectful, and that's why it's important to introduce that.
Yeah, okay. We should not be expecting kids to take responsibility, one, for our comfortability. We have to accommodate to the children because they're children. They're not adults. The fact that I'm gonna say three things that you said completely that terrified me. One is when you said when Jesus would come down, he would choose to be with the LGBTQ. I wonder who said that same rhetoric when they said that their group was more superior and more important. Jesus will be with all is what's important. Jesus died for all our sins, so we're saved. But the fact that you chose your community over all is what makes me nervous because Jesus would be for all. The fact that you said, oh, he'd be with the LGBTQ is the same fucking shit those white supremacists used to say, well, oh, Jesus is white. They love us white people. He coming to chill us whites. It's this sick, toxic rhetoric that people don't understand they're using, and it just defeats your entire point. Everything you said doesn't matter after you said that. The second you said Jesus will pick LGBTQ over anybody else is the second I stopped listening because it just completely defeats your point of comfortability, love, acceptance, everyone loving each other. And if someone identifies as trans, isn't it the rule book that you are supposed to respect their choice as identifying as trans? If someone says they want to be a woman, isn't it my duty to respect them when they say that? That's what I'm told. That's what we're all told, right, you guys? That we got to respect it, that we can't question it. We can't tell them they're delusional, they're sick, they're crazy, right? Because that's disrespectful. This whole idea that people just want to do love and community is bullshit. You just chose your community over the world. If Jesus came down, that makes me so nervous. I don't understand this idea. I can recognize what you're going through, but not once did you recognize what the women were going through. You did, but in a way you skated over. You said, you know what? They're just going to use the bathroom. I don't give a fuck. I was touched inappropriately in a bathroom by a man in a dress. I'm not playing. My niece was harassed by a man in a dress. I'm not playing. This shit ain't cool. You better respect the boundaries. That is a woman's bathroom. Respect the boundaries. I'm not accommodating to you because the bathroom wasn't made for you. You want to go take a shit, go home. This is what to me is that I get it. You're gay all the time. I'm an asshole all the time. Doesn't mean I talk time. I keep my mouth shut. I accommodate people. If I want to cuss somebody out, I bite my tongue and I go to fuck home and I cuss you guys out instead. That there's an idea of learning, how to accommodate others and not be so fucking selfish. I mean, really. And I this whole idea, what you said is just, it's astonishing to me that you would wish for someone who doesn't like gay stuff. My family's Catholic and Muslim. They hate that shit. They couldn't stand me being gay, and I understand because that's how they grew up. I'm not gonna, try and fight them for it. I'm not gonna force it in their face. I'm not gonna tell them that they deserve to have a gay child, which would make them the most uncomfortable because they disagree with me. You're literally defeating the very belief that you have that people should be comfortable by wishing for someone who doesn't like gay people. Well, if you don't like gay people, you're gonna have a gay son. You just gonna have to accept it. No, what is going on? That to me is wishing discomfort on people is ridiculous to me. I really hope that as a woman pleading to the LGBTQ community, stay out of the bathroom. Help us be a little more comfortable as women, since gays protect us so much, right? Y'all love us so much, right? You want to be our friends. You want to be like us. You love us and you love hanging out with us. But when it comes to our comfortability, you diminish it and you minimize it. And we got to stay quiet because a lot of us don't have the men on our side. We literally go to the LGBTQ for support. A lot of women have gay friends that they go to for safety. And those very gay people are saying, you know what, love, you're good. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to mess with you. You have no reason to feel uncomfortable, even after they've been traumatized and have told you, I'm not comfortable. So this whole idea of love and community is bullshit. It's bullshit. You completely contradicted yourself 3 times. And it just makes me so sad that, you literally said Jesus would choose LGBTQ over anybody else. It's very scary, JJ. Jesus would choose all. And that's the type of rhetoric that makes me nervous. Because people, we shouldn't be saying that. That's the type of shit WASP say, and Jim Crow era say. That's what they say. We shouldn't be saying that to each other. We shouldn't be wishing discomfort on each other at all. Especially, when it comes to children, wishing for a gay child for somebody is very strange. Very strange behavior. I would never wish for somebody to have a trans kid if they didn't want one. It's just very strange. It's like wishing for someone to get assaulted if they didn't want to get assaulted. So it's just, we got to watch how if we're preaching love and community, really preach it. Don't go back on your word because, you're trying to prove a point or be sly, because it just doesn't work. But I see what you're going through. I just hope that LGBTQ sees what the women are going through and recognizes it and kind of steps down.
Yeah, JJ, you heterophobe.
No. I think a couple of things, Marcus. I think that you maybe misinterpreted my point, and misunderstood it. When I mentioned Jesus, what I was speaking to was the fact that he went to go and hang out. He didn't choose to go to the church and be around people who are like-minded. He chose to hang around the outcasts. He literally hung around Mary Magdalene, who was a whore, who stands against everything that a Christian woman, or a godly woman is supposed to stand for. But that's who he chose to go and actually commune with. And he understood, through the brilliance of him, that it was important to reach people who had been outcasted by society. So when I'm speaking about him hanging out with the LGBT, I'm not saying he'd be, like going to whoop it up at Pride or something. What I'm saying is that he would actually, understand that there's a unique experience that people who have been subjugated, who have been otherized by the majority group within society experience. So that's what he would want to do with that. When it comes to the women's bathroom thing, okay, I want you to understand my position. I was not saying that women should be, subjected to, be uncomfortable. That's not what I'm saying. I actually really do support women. I support you. I think, well, let me first say, I think what happened to you, since you were, vulnerable enough to share that, was absolutely disgusting, and I'm very sorry.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that as somebody who is who is a part of a community that often gets attacked, I just think I'm very, very cautious about vilifying anybody within any demographic that's already a minority and already highly scrutinized, simply because there are people who, act in deplorable ways within that group. I think that person, who attacked you, and anyone who attacks anybody who's going to use the trans community, I say, fuck that. They need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. However, there are at least the majority of trans people and gay people, they're just trying to live their lives. They're literally just trying to go to the bathroom. And I think what they need to do, and I brought this up about this issue, is moving forward, especially since we're in a time where we have fucking AI and chat GPT and bots and drones and all types of shit. And they can find, at least here in America, Trump could find all of this taxpayer money to go build himself a fucking East Wing and a fucking pool hall and a fucking ballroom and all this bullshit. What I think that they should do is actually give like a tax break or a subsidize every business and public space to have more like family bathrooms or more gender neutral bathrooms where people can go who are not non-binary or trans or just want to be like in a space, so that way people can feel comfortable and there's no issues. Because most of the time too, like I said, obviously you're going to have some people who are just activists and who are just assholes, part of any group, right? Straight, gay, hello, January 6th, whatever. Like, there's going to be people who are problematic. That doesn't represent the entire community. Literally, most trans women are actually subjected to, ironically, because people are like, well, why don't you just use the men's bathroom? You know why? Because they get beat up and raped in the men's bathroom too. So I think it's really important that we kind of address these issues with a level of understanding that there's shit now that that has been wrong for so long that needs to be addressed. But the other thing about the kids, right? I think here's the thing, right? And maybe I'm a little. Look, first and foremost, I don't have kids now, but I may choose to have kids in the future. But I don't think that you need to personally have kids. I actually disagree with what Adams was saying about like having like needing to have some personal tie to have an opinion on children. I'm like, no, I don't, because first and foremost, I definitely remember my experience as a child, and then I also am an uncle, and beyond that, like I am around and commune with kids, on a regular basis, just in life, because parents are not watching their kids 24/7, and I gotta go walk down the street, and there goes somebody's kid, So it's important that we understand that, like, no, you're responsible for your kids 24/7, and you're responsible for how you raise them and how they act, even when they're not with you. And they don't always need to be given grace, especially when they're, acting especially when they're just basically being abusive and toxic and harmful. Like, I don't think that they get a pass for that. I think nowadays we've normalized completely disgusting behavior. And I know for me, because sometimes people do this thing, well, oh, well, all kids do. No. JJ was not like that. I remember what it was like to be a kid pretty much at every stage. I knew how to act. The same way that like some studies said pockets about like how gay people used to act back in the day, and they used to be, I guess, a bit more dignified. Kids, I also think, back in the day used to
JJ, I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm really sorry, but Patty, which is it's a very rare occurrence that she comes into this room and she wanted to say something, and she said that she wanted to speak in the chat. Patty's right there.
No way. Where's she at?
Patty's right there.
Oh, she's next to me.
Okay, go ahead, Patty.
She's at the bottom. Yes.
Yo, what a
But JJ, I hear where you're coming from, but we want to. Hi, Patty. How you doing?
Hey.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go up on people on your stage. I just, I was talking to you, and I just, I was just trying to have a conversation with you,
Yeah, but you notice it was me and what's the other girl name? Sunny that took up for you. Sunny was like, yeah, he's changed a lot.
And I appreciate that. I really do. How are you doing?
Hey. But like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There's a lot of government buildings that actually have gender neutral bathrooms, and people don't even fucking notice it. Like, if you go to Eisenhower Building, the Pentagon, most of our GSA buildings, they have gender neutral bathrooms. It's just a stall of bathrooms. It's not like there's open freaking, like, it's a door, it closes, and we've never had an issue where someone's gotten raped. Like, I mean, shit, they got airports now. I think San Francisco airports is nothing but just stalls. You're from California, right? Adam? SFO? They have nothing but
I am. I haven't, to be honest with you, I don't go past San Luis Obispo. Not for any political reason. I just, I'm a Southern California baby.
Yeah, well, I know SFO, and whenever I fly in DC, like to go to Tacoma or to go down to Joint Base, their bathrooms are all, and they've been like that for a while. It's just bathrooms. And there's stalls. It's not like you get to see who's in there. Yeah,
and don't you feel like that's kind of how it should be? Because I was talking to somebody who lives in Europe, and they're saying that there's a lot of places like that, in Europe, like they have bathrooms that it's literally just like a stall, and then you have the sink and stuff. Yeah, like public area. I think that's how, moving forward, I feel like those are things that are pretty manageable, doable, tangible things, tangible solutions to, some of these social issues that
Patty, as somebody that lives in California, one of the biggest frustrations that I've had is the fact that there are no spaces for men to be able to take their daughters to the restroom when they're out in public. Number two, there's also not a sufficient amount of space for women to breastfeed. That's something, or to even breast pump. That's something that is a big issue and a huge misstep in our country in building out infrastructures and, public restrooms. I'm with you on that. I never got too much into the bathroom conversation. I mean, to me, I identify as male. I go to the male restroom. I'm not trying to go up into the women's bathroom. But I do understand where women are concerned that, there could be some men like the person in the spa in Koreatown, where it was a person with a whole penis that was in the women's spa, and there was a child in the hot tub, and, people felt some type of way about it, and it was inappropriate. It was very inappropriate, regardless of what, gender the person identified as. Biological male with a penis in the presence of a small child like that in a public spa setting is inappropriate. And I think that the public should have been outraged. But I think that the conversation has kind of gotten away from these instances and the outrageousness of these particular instances. And people have kind of just prescribed this whole entire panic into believing that this is happening in every single street corner. As you mentioned, I live in California in the middle of Los Angeles. I can't even tell you the last time I saw a trans person. I can't tell you.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I just feel like in awe when people talk about these gender neutral bathrooms. I'm like, dude, I've been doing all 14 years I've been in the military. If you're in a male unit, guess what? You're using a male bathroom. You're just using a gender neutral bathroom. I think they just came up with some word, but to be honest, I just go to the bathroom. We have stalls. Ain't nobody fucking coming at all. I don't know.
You know how many women have uncomfortable situations in public just trying to breastfeed their children? Why we're not talking about creating a bathroom for that is beyond me.
Right.
Well, certain places do have bathrooms specifically for mothers to do something like that, but they're going to call them family restrooms. But
they're rare though, Rob.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Did it somehow get back to a restroom conversation in this room?
It did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and we're flowing with it.
It's just proving my point.
No, Rob, I didn't start it. Just let you know.
It's proving my point.
Actually, he did. He asked JJ if he felt represented. It started all.
It proved my point about Trump supporters, man. But hey, Patty, good to hear from you. What's up?
I just
think Trump supporters have to do with bathrooms, because I'm not a Trump supporter, and I talking about it.
Yeah, but I do want to say this, Pockets. I think that this is because I think this goes beyond the bathrooms, and I think it's kind of maybe to the sentiment of how some liberals feel, and kind of like even what Adams was saying, with this room, which I can respect because I care, and I feel like it's not much of a concession to me. Like when you were saying, Adams, like, just kind of chill, like, and just kind of like read the room in terms of people's like boundaries. Here on this app, like, I have no problem with that. Out in real life, like, I think I tend to be a bit more aligned with the idea that people live differently, and I think that that's okay. I think it's important to, like, unless we want to do this thing where, I don't know, there's some sort of secession, between people who are like, because you said, like, earlier, Joe, you were saying like, oh, there's like maybe just a lack of respect for like or some sort of targeting of like white Christians or Christians. I'm like, no, but I just think that people don't have to make Christians comfortable. Just like people don't have to make LGBT people comfortable. You know how many times, like, I used to go to the barbershop, right? To like, now I don't do that because I kind of let my hair grow a little by ceremony. But I used to be uncomfortable each and every time I went to the barbershop, all the time. Like, I remember it vividly when this show Empire came out, and they had like, it was like a big deal that they had a gay storyline at front and center in the show, and they had like a sex scene, and like they would like I was at the barbershop during watching it, and they had it on, and everybody's like and everybody's like talking shit, and it's like, that makes me very uncomfortable because you're like otherizing and shitting on something that is very normal and natural to me. And I feel like if the roles were reversed, you would feel some type of way about it. I feel like it's disrespectful. But it just is what it is. I can't make a big fuss about that. Like, I'm grown and I can just move on. But my point is that that's just a part of life. I think you don't, it's the same way that I don't get to like make some big fuss about,
JJ, have you
homophobic
tried
shit.
to relay your opinions to the law of reality?
What do you mean? Because that's what I'm saying, Adam.
The foundational principles governing how existence, perception, and consciousness interact with one another.
Oh, thank God, son.
Because scientifically, okay, your perception is, you are who you are, and you're free, you're able to think, and you're able to freely think and say what you want. The existence where you're deploying that freedom is, in this space, which, as I mentioned to you earlier, consists of a lot of Christian nationalists. And, what I'm trying to observe is your level of consciousness as it relates to the perception. Because the perception is that you center yourself a lot in, discussing your identity and a lot of topics related to that when it's non-germane to the topic. So, in other people bringing that to your attention, my question to your consciousness is this something that you're aware of, that you often do it more so than not?
No, I completely disagree with that because we're literally discussing this. So it's very germane to the topic because this is what we're discussing.
But I think that when Patty made her submission about the federal restrooms, it was her attempt to kind of engage in the conversation. So I think that we're moving off these just specific to your identity. And I think that we're talking about this broad topic.
I do appreciate, though, that we disagree and we were cool, JJ. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we kind of just left it there. I just don't want it to go back full circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I would just, speak because I feel like this is an important point. I'm using myself as an example, Adams. Like, this is not just a random situation. If you want to talk about it, you could just say that. I'm just saying, in general, I think it's important for all of us, which is very important to the topic, bathrooms or whatever, to understand that none of us, whether you're Christian, non-Christian, black, white, woman, man, trans, none of us have a right to comfort in society. Life is uncomfortable. Situations with people who think very differently than you in a relatively free society is uncomfortable. People, freedom of speech for me in a lot of ways that's toxic from my vantage point and damaging to mental health is uncomfortable. That's just life, and that's okay. And that's, I feel like, an important that people should keep in their minds when we discuss some of these, polarizing issues. You don't have a right to comfort. That's all. That's it.
You do, though, love. Just want to let you know you got the power, right? I got the power. But the fact that Jarl hasn't seen Interstellar is really bothering me. I think we should talk about that. He's never seen it. Yo, did y'all give me a beam, bro? Yo, my head just grew like 3 times.
JJ, I was curious. For a person who...
Matt, don't talk to me. I don't want to overcenter myself.
Oh, no, that's the whole point why I'm talking to you. For a person who is supposedly looking out for everybody, you sure just look out for yourself.
How?
I didn't mean to come in like that. I just wanted to point it out. I just find it interesting, like, your viewpoints are all about, well, for the greater good for everybody, but then it's like you're very centric about your lifestyle, you know what I mean? You wouldn't call it lifestyle, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, my life.
So then we get criticized for taking our stances on our side politically, and we don't get a pass on that. I don't understand why it's like, why there's not more give to why can't we, center ourselves around stuff that we want that happened, and then at least we don't pretend that we're only doing it for ourselves in that way. And my thinking is just that you are kind of looking out for yourself, not really the greater good.
No,
that sounds like a pretty big slam. I get it. I know.
Yeah, no, it's not that, because literally listen, all of these things, like when I'm speaking about, whether it's the, restroom situation or whatever, I have a mother, I have a sister. These things, when I'm speaking about policies, these things are affecting people who are very close to me as well. So it's not just about me. I'm just saying that it's important that, and first of all, Matt, you guys know, like, you can, and I said this many times before, I never attack, you for having your stance. I understand your stances on certain things. I really don't like, Trump, and I will say that, but it's like, we just have a difference of how we see things, but that's okay. I just think that the difference is, for me, I think that since there's the criticism that I have is sometimes people, coming from a Christian place or a religious place, there is problematic views that you have that, in my mind, kind of undermine that a bit. Like whether it's a topic of immigration, whether it's a topic of abortion, women's rights, certain things that from my vantage point kind of negate some of your other principles. But at the end of the day, I think that you have every right to hold them. I'm not trying to say that you can't hold them. And I don't think that me talking about this particular issue is me trying to look out only for myself. I'm looking out for everybody by saying that none of us have like a right to comfort. So we need to cooperate with each other and try to come to some middle ground, because we're all living in this country together, right? None of us are trying to leave. I know I'm a citizen. I ain't going anywhere. That's
Well, is there middle ground? I mean, I guess that's the big question of the times, right? Pockets sounds like you got some.
Well, I mean, we found a middle ground, but I think it's just because we just don't want to argue anymore. But we ended up finding, I guess there's, finding middle grounds. I can recognize that people in his community go through fear, as well as people in my community, women, in the bathrooms as well, when they go into the men's, that they'll be beat up. And, the women literally fear that, like, hey, don't touch me. So there is a fear on both sides. And as someone who's just, trying to, I guess, be logical or just be fair, I can't ask for him to recognize my fears if I don't recognize his. I'd be hypocritical in that moment. So I feel like we have to, and when it comes to, finding that common ground, I guess we gotta give in sometimes, man. You know what I mean? It just
individual bathrooms, pockets. Everybody goes just for themselves, and we don't have this issue anymore.
Oh, no. But I think it's important that people do see, though, that we were able to disagree. We were able to get a little heated. We were able to come to, to see each other's problems on both sides. So and I tend to do that with a lot of MAGA people as well. I tend to see what, their side is and what their values are and how, he runs this country. We all have different values. A lot of people don't value community, and that's our problem. A lot of people don't know their neighbors. My community is my neighbors, my family, who's around me, the kids in my neighborhood. If there's a kid, like you talked about, walking alone, I'm walking that child home. As a human being in my neighborhood, that is my responsibility, to walk that child home as an adult. If there's no adult present, it's not a burden. It's not a problem. It's actually a privilege to be entrusted to go get a child home safely, as so many are coming up missing because someone just didn't want to walk them home. Someone just didn't want to check in on the child. Someone didn't want to bother the kid. I feel like a lot of things that we tend to forget about, most importantly, is the next generation, which is who's going to take over all of our beliefs and movements and all these just politics that we've left that's just trash. I feel like these kids are going to have such a diluted belief system of unity. They're really going to grow up in a very volatile, just disruptive environment, because we can't seem to get, our heads together and realize that it has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with race, it has to do with the kids. We keep forgetting the kids, and it's not my job to discipline kids or to call them assholes or to be like, hey, you're racist or you're being gay. That's a kid. He has the intelligence of a puppy, of a squirrel. Like, what am I supposed to do disciplining this kid because he said some fucked up shit to me? I've been called, I don't know if you've been to a Call of Duty lobby. But these 7-year-olds are wrecking me. They're calling me anything out the sun, man. And we're getting it out in the battlefield. There's nothing really I can do. So, I feel like when it comes to that discernment, with children at the very least, I gotta, man, the kids are all I fucking care about, dude. Kids are all I care about. Really, honestly. Any adult who has issues, man, figure your shit out. I'm looking out for the kids. Because we should have our shit together by now.
Well, Pockets, where does that end though? Because 7 years old, obviously, I think that's I would totally not, be paying attention to like what a 7-year-old says. But to me, when you're like 13, 14, some of these like teenagers are just as big as me. And exactly. So it's like I think sometimes like no,
because you'll whoop their ass, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
but I happen to be like a bigger guy. Like, what if I was like, a little teeny person, and some of these like, teen, 14, 15, you could be like, 6 foot and above, and you just are young, but it's like they conduct themselves like grown men. And I think it's important for them to be, to have some sort of like regulation, like they I think at what point do we hold people accountable, I guess is the question. At what age do you hold them accountable?
It's the parents.
But what if they don't have parents? Because a lot of times the parent, first of all, a lot of times, this is my thing when it comes to like children or teenagers or whatever, minors, right? I think sometimes we forget that as a society, like that not everybody has parents. Not everybody that does have parents has parents that actually give a shit. And not everybody that has parents that give a shit have parents that have the time to actively involve themselves because they're too busy trying to pay bills or whatever. So we do have some sort of need as a society, as a community, the same way that you said that you walk that little, kid home, like to pitch in. And I think it gets really, there's some sort of friction between parents and society. And sometimes parents, I feel like, pick and choose when they want people to intervene and when they want to just say, oh, well, whatever, you got to wait for me. And I think it's your problem because if you're especially your 15, 16 is talking reckless to me and I'm just trying to live my life and they standing, just as tall as me or if not even taller, like, I'm not looking at them the same way that I'm looking at, little Petey as a 7-year-old.
But little Petey is killing little Calvin in schools. They're not killing LGBTQ, they're killing each other. And I feel like that's also a big issue that we don't talk about enough. We're so worried about them being, homophobes and talking some shit. But they're not pointing a gun at you. They're pointing a gun at the kids at the school that they go to. That's our issue. We focus on the wrong things. Man, I have not heard a case yet, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, of a child, 13, 14, killing a grown-ass man or a woman, a part of the LGBTQ community. If you could find me, I'll be wrong, and that's okay. So for the most part, they're killing each other, love. Yeah. So I feel like we're missing the point. The kids should be our prime focus, and we're too busy focusing about them hurting us. They're hurting each other. You know what I mean? I'm cool. I'm safe. Ain't no 13-year-old killing me. I'll kick that kid in the next week. So I'm worried about that kid killing the other kid at that school.
Pockets, I agree with that.
That's not true.
I think we do leave the kids behind quite a bit. Fangs, did you want to go? And I see Holly's joined the stage, and Stan and Kaiser, and a few other new voices here. Go ahead, Fangs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not necessarily true. I've lived in New York, New Jersey, and in Philadelphia. But no, not Philadelphia, but PA. But what I'm saying is that the kids there, you're gonna get shot by like some 12, 13-year-old that really does not care. That